sweet that they left me blind. Making promises we just can't keep, and it felt so right. Screws tried to lure me right into an affidavit. Remind me as I'm falling and I'm out of time. I'm caught up in your tongue, they say. You claim that you love me, but it's just another play. I'm stuck inside your room all day. You say it's for my safety, but I'm just one of your prey. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. She had some time to decide how she's gonna kill you. You can keep running, keep your eyes wide open, but you'll never see it coming, no use. She's got a gun and a bag and she's waiting for you. I'm running away from the past I left behind. I'm looking for answers, but I'm blinded by the light. I'm lost in the music and I stay here for the night. I promise I'll be gone in the morning, out of sight and out of mind. You know when you keep running, but your legs are standing still. It's like you're stuck in a nightmare, but you keep doing it for the thrill. Well, this is reality, you only live it once, so wake up from your dream. But just for tonight, let the lines get blurred, let your thoughts be free, let your thoughts be free. Stop.
Hello and welcome into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, we're jam-packed full of Overwatch action as Boise State looks to punch their way into the playoffs in some tournaments and continue to solidify their playoff chances in other tournaments. I am Michael Fishfisher, joined by D'Angelo D'Angelo Alloway. It's been so long, I forgot who you were, D'Angelo, but you're back, you're ready as ever, and now you somehow brought a menacing weapon here in case the Deadeye pops off and I make fun of them again.
I have a hammer to punish that mispronunciation of my name there, Fish.
I will say, I just flipped them. I flipped them. That's all. But we're back. We're ready to go. And we're kicking off with some high-intensity action here. It's TESPA. It's Boise State taking on UC Santa Barbara. And the stakes cannot be higher, D'Angelo. The winner, they're automatically in the playoffs. The loser has to go to a 30-team play-in for one spot.
Oh, my.
Oh
my.
There's a lot of pressure on Boise State's blue team tonight where we're kicking off. They are so far 7-2 overall in TESPA. Their only two losses are to Miami, Ohio, and of Utah, who are very strong contending teams. Now they got to take down UC Santa Barbara. They're in the playoffs. They lose. Oh, man, a 1 in 30 chance is not something I think Boise State wants to play with tonight.
No, that is absolutely not what you want. That's why we brought the hammer. The hammer. The hammer of success. That's what Boise State Blue needs tonight. We would love to see Goblin on the Torbjorn wielding the hammer of success.
Yeah, if you maybe can, bring back that mojo that Goblin has had while you've been away. He's had some issues with those flanks, but don't you worry. Plato has stepped up in a huge way. He's pulled off some insane flanks, mainly on that McCree. So Boise State Blue clicking on all cylinders. They're trying to punch their way into the playoffs tonight. I know a couple weeks ago we had a new patch. I haven't seen anything really change, D'Angelo. Have you seen much from, I think they, changed some Pharaoh rocket booster stats. They buffed back Reaper. Overall, it feels like a whole lot about nothing, though.
I mean, Reaper is definitely still unpleasant. He was unpleasant with the first minor change, so he's definitely still extra unpleasant, especially to tank players. The Pharah change didn't really do a ton for Pharah. I mean, it made her slightly more, balanced and viable as a hero, but most of the comps that you would want to run Pharah with aren't necessarily those heroes, kind of like with the Orisa buff, like why Spam isn't as dominant or Double Shield isn't as dominant when Sig was first released. The rest of those heroes aren't there to kind of go with that, and it's not like such a dominant, amazing, overpowering force. That's actually something that Overwatch has been doing really, really nicely with their little patches. They're not big meta-defining changes. All they are is little tweaks to make heroes more viable here and there. And so that's actually a really nice job done by the Overwatch balance team in terms of all of these recent patches that have been coming out. They're not huge game-breaking changes. They're just little almost quality of life hero patches.
Well, we'll see. I know we've seen Goblin a little bit more on the Pharah since the changes. Hasn't gone too well. We'll see if he brings it out tonight. We are in TESPA, as we mentioned. It is Game 10 of that 10-game regular season Swiss. It is a best of 3. We'll go Control, Hybrid, and Escort. Boise State started off the season number 8. They have dropped down now to number 9, but they still are sitting a very comfortable 7-2 record. And as we mentioned, one more win locks them into the playoffs. There are your updated rankings. We mentioned Boise State has only lost to Utah, who's tied for 5th, and Miami of Ohio, who is right ahead of Boise State in that 8th spot. So the Broncos have only dropped games to very, very strong opponents, and right now they're trying to make sure they find their way into the playoffs. Maybe they can get some revenge, but first they've got to focus on UC Santa Barbara. One of these teams is going to the playoffs. The other one has a 1 in 30 chance in a play-in tournament to make the playoffs, so this is even more important for Boise State Blue to pick up a win here tonight to kick things off, D'Angelo. And as we get ready to hop into Control, what are you keeping your eye out for Boise State Blue if they need to win this game against UC Santa Barbara?
First fight Control is always the most important fight that you're going to have on Control maps, particularly because that gives you the point, especially if you're trying to run something tricky like a Symmetra, which we've seen teams pull out occasionally to varying amounts of success. But Control, even if you're not running tricky heroes like that, the first fight is always the most important because not only does it set the enemy team on the defense, not only does it give you the defensive advantage and it forces them to come to you, you get to pick the fight where you want, and those are all things that are in Doc's keys or plays of the game. So those are all very, very important things, and it's never more important than winning first fight on a Control map.
We'll have to see. Boise State Blue, as we mentioned, right now trying to punch their way into the playoffs against UC Santa Barbara. They've been very strong. They're coming off a 2-0 week last week. Now we're trying to see if they can take down UC Santa Barbara. We see the team there. Kwok, Kel, Goblin, Plato, A Large Bagel, and Asu firing on all cylinders right now. Any player in particular besides Goblin, we've already given the shout-out with the hammer that you're going to be watching out for Boise State. They have to have a good game if the Broncos want to win.
Plato has absolutely been popping off. You are absolutely correct. Sometimes Plato tends to get, overshadowed just because Goblin is doing very weird things that usually get talked about.
True.
But Plato is by no means an inferior DPS to Goblin. There is nothing. Plato is absolutely an amazing player, and him popping off will definitely help the entire rest of the team. But that's ultimately what we expect of Plato, is to pop off.
Yeah, really, it's nice for Boise State. If one of them has a bad game, the other one usually just pops off, and we rarely notice the decline. Well, Doc's keys to the game: never take a fair fight. Never more important than in a game that determines your playoff chances. It means take a fight in unexpected places when they are unprepared. And Doc has, maybe had some issues with the team. Don't take so darn long to take those unexpected fights. It's all brought to you by Count, whose Identity Trust Global Network delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables a personalized customer experience for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. If you want to stay safe online, check them out at count.com. And we'll see how Boise State does with those unexpected fights, as we talked about in the pre-show. Some of those flanks from Goblin have been working, but then Plato's just like, hey, I'll do it myself. That's fine with me. So now you got to watch out for both DPS if you decide to UC Santa Barbara.
And you really do always need to watch out for both DPS, but now both of them are going to be trying to get tricky flanks, which is extra scary.
Both these teams want to make the playoffs so bad. We're going to hop into it already in progress. And Boise State picking up a pair of kills there. Plato on the May. So we also had a Molten Core come out from Goblin, and Boise State already up at 50%.
50% no ult, with the exception of the Diva Bomb, so Kel will have to be very creative with how he chooses to use that. But they're walking into Blizzard, so lots of pressure on Kel in this next fight to not only eat the Blizzard, but also get value with his own ult.
Deadeye coming up for Darius as well here. Large Bagel should have the sound barrier, though. See Asu hanging out in the back. Plato's going to take down Darius. Before he can get that Deadeye off, Blizzard will come down. Looks like they're going to get a freeze on Decray. There's the Deep Bomb that will come out, and a sound barrier, and that's going to force a retreat away for Santa Barbara. Walk will go down, but Plato's going to stay hot. He's going to get another elimination, making two more in this fight. Large Bagel punches down XD, and Boise State wins the fight despite being at an all disadvantage.
Things didn't look good when Kwok got picked. However, then we traded Kwok for their main healer, their Baptiste. That is one of the only trades where it is acceptable to lose your main tank, just by the way. That is one of the only times it is acceptable to trade the life of your main tanks. If you can trade it for their main healer, that's exactly what Plato did, and then picked up the kill on their Reinhardt, their main tank, shortly after. So great job, Plato. Thanks for handing us that fight.
Yeah, that fight immediately snowballs into a win for Boise State. A very quick map. Feels like, we probably missed one fight at the very beginning. Looks like that was a 3-fight and done map, and now Boise State just one game away from claiming control victory here, and it looks like Santa Barbara is going to change things up a bit.
But that's exactly what we want, Fish, right? We want a 3-fight and done for Boise State there. We want the very dominant victory. That is absolutely what we want, especially to avoid those 30-1 chances of getting in the playoffs. We just want to win the game, get there ourselves.
State's going to go with their double bubble, the meta that's been dominating, but the Broncos haven't always been on top of. Great Maywall there for Gold's going to cut out a Large Bagel. That's going to make Walk on the wrong side there. No healing available. He will be taken out. Immortality fits XD, able to keep the team alive. Now a Large Bagel gets antied. He's going to go down as well. Frisbee taken low, so is Cray. Boise State does not have enough damage. Now Frisbee will get taken out with Goblin on the tracer, but he'll have to trade that one off 1-for-1. Boise State's going to have to concede the point.
Frisbee was the price for UCSB to win that fight, but ultimately they did win that very quickly with that May wall that initially took Walk out, and then the anti onto a Large Bagel.
Kel now looking to try and get some damage there, hanging around that charge, even with the nerf to how fast that does degenerate. Going to see, it looks like we've got an Ant Matrix coming down from XD. Boise State will just line of sight it. Plato's got the Orbit Discord up on him in the air. Frisbee will take down Asu, and Boise State's now down one. And they'll pick up a double kill on the Darius and Navi. The Broncos now have one. A Pulse Bomb's going to miss. Get the Duke Tape from Plato onto that Zenyatta. Trying to build to that Transcendence in time. 5% away as Gold goes down. despite the blizzard coming out. Looks like the duplicate will be taken out before any ult, and Boise State, despite the ult disadvantage, sends Santa Barbara running.
That seems to be the trend of tonight, huh, Fish? Boise State at ult disadvantage. Let's win the fight anyway, because that's just what we enjoy doing. We're walking into a blizzard. Doesn't matter. Let's win the fight. Let's take the point.
Yeah, the blizzard goes up. We'll just win the fight anyway. No big deal. Asu's going to knock Cray right off the edge, and that probably means a reset here for Santa Barbara. They do have a little bit extra time since they started on the point, so they'll just wait for that wrecking ball.
Santa Barbara is walking into a grav, so giving Boise State time, they're also likely going to lose this next fight that they go into with the grav, so things are looking kind of scary for UCSB.
Minefield's going to come out. Nano will land on the Guac. There's an Ant Matrix that comes down from XD. Boise State holding on to their ults for now. Pulse Bomb will come out as well as the Primal Rage. Pulse Bomb will just take down the Immortality Field. Cray will fall shortly after, and walking into a grab, who needs one? Boise State's able to pick up one. Now they're trying to chase down Navi. He'll throw out his own grab. Boise State responds with one of their own and a rally. Dragons come out from Darius, and he's able to take down Kel. Duplicate from Plato will come out. He's going to try and get more grabs to Boise State. Double anti-kill for a large bagel. Boise State's able to pick up two more. Plato's going to throw down his final grab here. That should be enough for Boise State to wrap things up, and they're going to be able to take down Cray and Navi.
We probably did not need the duplicate going in, and now there's a lot of pressure on a large bagel to not only charge that nano, but get value out of it, and also Goblin to get pulse bomb value, even if it's just taking down the lamp so that UCSB doesn't have the lamp going into their next fight. However, UCSB has been put into pretty close to last fight territory here, so they really need to get value out of this blizzard. If they don't, they lose this match.
Guac's going to jump right onto Navi, who gets anti. He was isolated all alone. Goblin will be taken out as well. So it's a 1-for-1. Blizzard will come down as Darius is able to take down Plato. Nano's going to go odd to Guac. Darius gets another one. Guac's trying to burn down XD. Finally able to get him, but his team is falling on the point. Now he's going to cut off Frisbee. Electrocute him to death. A large bagel will be punched down while frozen as an ice block. And UCSB flips the point, and Boise State's got to wait.
Guac did a nice job taking out their back line there. The members of Boise State just kind of weren't able to live long enough for him to get back to the point and get the value without. However, things are still looking pretty good for Boise State here because we have a full team. So while UCSB is still going up in percentage, this is a Boise State team.
They knock Navi off the edge now on that Reinhardt. Gold gets taken out by the Primal Rage as well. The Immortality Field will fall. Boise State should be able to flip this. Darius is trying to contest as long as possible. Boise State will once again put him back in overtime. Ant Matrix will come out. Cray gets taken down. XD barely survives, ends up dying at the very end. Goblin's going to pick up a double kill. We see Navi go charging into his death. Boise State should be able to pick this one up with only Darius alive, but he's not going to be able to get to the point in time. And Boise State, a bit closer than map 1, wins control, and they'll go up 1-0 in the series.
And you know, a bit closer than map 1, considering map 1 was just 3 fights and done. I mean, that's very good for Boise State. Shouldn't be feeling too bad about that. That was really nice.
Goblin's going to pick up play of the game on that Tracer. And just unfortunately for Santa Barbara, they feel like they really had no idea where that Tracer was. The Goblin just kind of got free value almost the entire time.
With the exception of a couple May ice block logs to the head, you are absolutely right there, Fish. That was definitely a Goblin Tracer map.
Well, you do not want to miss this 3v3 Overwatch showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. It'll be broadcast live from the Boise State Esports Arena. Perfect opportunity to win prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Idaho Army National Guard about how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media. The finals will be live on Saturday, April 16th. Boise State heading into map number 2. It's going to be hybrid, and the Broncos now in this best of 3, potentially one good payload push away from locking their spot in the playoffs.
That's exactly what we want. We just want one good payload push. That's why we brought the hammer. That's why we came out with our 3-fight win. Boise State clicking on all cylinders. Things are looking pretty good, not only for Goblin, but also for the rest of the members of Boise State.
Yeah, as we see here, this is just a difference between two of the DBS players for Boise State and Santa Barbara. We see Goblin on the blue side, nearly 30 eliminations per. No, never mind. We'll change that one real quick. There we go. Boise State, 6 eliminations per team fight, 3 ults per team fight. 75% of the time, the Broncos picking up that first elimination. Meanwhile, Santa Barbara, only about a third of that. getting one less ult per team fight, and by the way, they only got first elimination a quarter of the time. And that speaks to the total domination we saw for Boise State on map 1, in particular map 2, probably where Santa Barbara got some of those stats.
And honestly, the first set of stats that it was showing with the Goblin Hanzo versus the Santa Barbara Hanzo versus the Boise State versus the Santa Barbara, honestly, that 75 to 25, that was the less dominant, the least obvious comparison of the two teams, because things were looking pretty scary on the two Hanzo comparisons.
Yeah, and the only time that Santa Barbara got first blood, it was a fantastic Maywall.
Yes.
A large bagel wasn't able to heal Guac,
very nice.
just cut off his line of sight perfectly. So we'll see if Santa Barbara, if they want to get this to a game 3, if they want to keep their chances of a free playoff spot alive, they're going to have to come alive on Kings Row, because as we saw those stats, those did not favor the side of Santa Barbara. We'll see on Kings Row if they can change things up.
And honestly, Santa Barbara May play has been huge. If there is ever a map where May is one of the most dominant, impactful heroes, Kings Row is definitely one of those maps.
Yeah, they're going to bring out the May, and apparently your Torbjorn Hammer has not only inspired Boise State, it's also inspired, at least for now, Darius to bring out his own Torbjorn for the side of Santa Barbara.
It's all about the hammer. Lots of hammer plays here. Let's go. They're doing it. They're doing it for the prop. This is actually a very solid hammer fish. I am confident that many limbs will be had with the hammer tonight here with Boise State versus Santa Barbara.
I mean, it's got to be a solid prop, right? I mean, I've been told that a nano hammer on Torbjorn is the same as a nano hammer on Reinhardt.
Completely changing my worldview, fish.
Now, I don't know if I'd recommend nanoing your Torbjorn. You might not have any idea what's happening.
I don't know what you're talking about. My Ana play, that's my strat. Nano the Torb. Tell him to pull out his hammer.
You know, I take no responsibility for how much you get claimed in your solo queue games here, if at all. As we kick things off, nice Hulk's going to reset to the side of Santa Barbara. They're going to retreat. They pulled out a Roadhog here. Cray's going to be on that. See if he has new skin in tow, or if he's able to make an impact with it. Boise State just chilling on the high ground. This is a comp the Broncos have brought time and time again. We're going to see Guac sit on the point, and the rest of Boise State's just going to kite Santa Barbara until the end of time. Nabi gets taken out, just racking up turret eliminations. Kel will now be taken out, but Goblin trades that one out. He'll take down Darius. Boise State's trying to find one more elimination. They're going to trap that May in the corner. No health pack available. Plato's going to take him down. And no team that we have seen in the last few weeks, D'Angelo, has figured out how to crack this absolute stall strat.
We gave them a tick, but honestly, totally worth it, because we gave them a tick to eliminate their Reinhardt, and then that was their fight. That was it. That was over. Nabi was eliminated. There it is. It was just Boise State cleanup at that point.
Sit on a dragon here for Goblin. There's an Ant Matrix on the side of XD. Goblin will come through with his Dragon Strike. Looks like it's going to be just behind the team. Plato's going to drop down the Molten Core. There is an Ant Matrix coming down. Boise State's going to stand right on top of it. Plato learns the hard way, taking down to 4 HP. Then he'll get picked off by the enemy Torb. There's a Blizzard that will come out from gold. Boise State's going to throw down the Ant Matrix, but they're going to lose another DPS member. Guac will go down as well. And this should be enough for Santa Barbara here to finish capping this point. Boise State trying to hold on. They've gotten a pair of eliminations, but with Asu down now, looks like it's GG for point number 1.
Both of their supports got eliminations there, but at the end of the day, that is apparently how you crack that amazing stall strat fish that you were just talking about. You Ant Matrix on the point and pick the Boise State DPS. There it is. We figured it out.
First team to ever be able to pull that one off in Tespa that we've seen. We're going to see a whole hog and a Transcendence committed there by Frisbee. Don't know if the Transcendence was quite necessary, as Boise State has not committed a single ult. Darius gets taken out. Great Maywall comes down for Plato to separate the teams now on that May. And that felt like a very wasted ult on the side of Santa Barbara.
Quirky shatter usage as well. Very quirky Transcendence, very quirky shatter. Now Boise State is sitting at a massive ultimate advantage. Not only do they have almost every ultimate in the game, they're also coming up on Blizzard. So Boise State's biggest problem in terms of ultimates right now is not blowing them all in one place.
Well, Supercharger's going to go down. Dragon Strike will follow. Great Immortality Field barely keeps Nabi alive. They take down the Immortality Field and Nabi goes down. Goblin picks up one more. Trace able to take down Plato. The Blizzard did come out from Boise State, so that's 3 ults in that fight. But the Broncos will send Santa Barbara running for the hills. Darius will be taken out. Kel barely survives the hook from Cray. And Boise State's now holding them in their spawn. Looks like they're going to back up.
Honestly, we've seen the power of an amplification matrix already this map, Fish. I think Asu's got it with his own online there. They will need to watch out for the cart placement so that they'll be able to get the eliminations that they need. But, well, there it is.
There it is. Goblin gets one. I don't know if that's where you want the Amp Matrix if you're Santa Barbara up in a spot that only the Baptiste is able to get up to. So that's unfortunately a wasted Amp Matrix. Boise State will still throw down the sound barrier with that molten core coming out, and they'll be able to wrap things up here and send them back to spawn. And that felt like an Amp Matrix diff right there.
Absolutely, Amp Matrix diff. Something I will say about that molten core. On paper, it looks good to beat the molten core, but in practice, actually, there wasn't a ton of threat coming out from that molten core. There wasn't necessarily, we didn't necessarily need to beat that. And now that they have Blizzard, we'll be relying on speed to get out of that, or Kel to eat it. But that's usually something that could easily be done.
Dragon's going to rip through the team. Frisbee will be taken out. Nabi will go down as well. Gold's going to clear the Blizzard with his team already down 2. He immediately gets wiped out. Maybe some first game of the day jitters for both these teams as they have been pressing Q very quickly and very fast in a lot of these fights for both sides.
Jesus sitting on another amplification matrix there. We'll see if it's another amp difference. No, we won't actually, because XD is nowhere close. So I guess in that way, there's an amp difference. And now Boise State is again faced with the problem of not using 4, almost 5 ultimates all in one place.
Well, we'll kick it off with the Blizzard for Play-Doh. There's the transcend. It's going to come down from Frisbee to keep everybody alive. Unfortunately, it's not enough through that Blizzard. We're going to get a Diva Bomb as well, at least a mech reset from Kel. There's a nice shatter from Navi. It stuns 3 members of Boise State. Unfortunately, they just don't have the resources left in their spawn, and the Broncos will win that one despite the spawn door being just inches away.
Is it a nice shatter if there's no one to do anything about the shatter? This is a philosophical question that we must discuss.
I mean, it looks good on paper, so we'll call it a nice shatter. You could throw it down and whiff, which is never a good thing. Now Santa Barbara's trying for a bit of a cheeky flank, and Frisbee and Dare is able to take down a pair. The Broncos maybe getting a little bit too cocky there. Get caught with a nice little backdoor play from Santa Barbara.
We've talked about it all the time, Fish. The Broncos getting just a touch too cocky there. I think that was a good example. Not necessarily on Guac. I think Guac was definitely kind of caught off guard there. He was expecting to be able to 1v1 the Roadhog, which, I mean, he still had Fortify, so that is definitely a reasonable thing. But then the Reinhardt and the rest of the team came to peel, and now Boise State has to win one fight here so they can contest the cart.
Whole hog from Cray used just to blow through that May wall. Deadeye available. There's an Amp Matrix. The May wall is actually bad for Plato, so he'll immediately cancel. He'll throw down the Blizzard as well. Dragon Strike comes out, and they're going to send Santa Barbara running for the hills. And now there's one last chance here going with an Amp Matrix. We've already seen the power up. We'll see if one more can come down from XD to get his team the point. Supercharger comes down. Nabi is taken out. Gold will follow as well. There's a Deadeye. Oh, right in the face for Goblin. He knew exactly where that flank was coming from. And Santa Barbara's just going to retreat. They might have one last staggered fight, maybe.
They get to touch if they're lucky. I doubt it. I think Boise State is going to eliminate them as they get here. They're going to have to dead sprint, try very hard not to get eliminated. Nope, there is no touch. There is not a single toe that touches that point. Plato did not necessarily get the hugest Blizzard that we've ever seen. But it didn't necessarily matter because it sent Santa Barbara running, and then their Deadeye got no value, which I'm sure you are absolutely ecstatic about, Fish. I'm just ecstatic about that little Goblin headshot. It was very clean. He knew exactly where that man was, and he was like, no, you get Hanzo shot.
Yeah, it's hard to outflank Boise State. I mean, if Goblin doesn't get that headshot, I might have to, we might be talking about a 3 or 4-way Deadeye clutch from the side of Darius. So that was excellent play by Goblin right there on that Hanzo. I mean, the Dragon Strikes were a bit iffy, but besides that, I mean, you can't complain about the number of just raw kills he was picking up. So now Santa Barbara's going to have to play some pretty strong defense here. And both teams have a Symmetra, which is always a ton of fun, especially when Boise State's involved attacking on Kings Row and there's a statue right in front of him.
Goblin's gonna have to be a little bit careful on that Doomfist. I can feel his thoughts right now. I can feel it. He's not expecting the Hog to hook counter him. He's not expecting the May to freeze wall him out. But I don't think he's expecting the Brig either. I think we might see Goblin swap off here. If Santa Barbara does not force Goblin to swap off after first fight, there are a couple things wrong with half of their team. Fish.
Well, we will see. Doesn't look like Boise State's going to go for the Symmetra teleporter. It looks like actually Santa Barbara teleported themselves up there. Now Guaco goes swinging in. Teleporter has been put down, and now Boise State will join them on the top of the statue. Immortality Field will go down. Navi and Darius both hit by an anti-grenade. They'll be taken out. Frisbee will fall as well. XD, the next target for Boise State. Broncos going to pick up 5, and that's a quick first fight win, and we still have a Doomfist.
You can't really do cheeky sim strats if your Symmetra is eliminated first in fight due to a well-placed Asu nade. That was very well done. I think just in general there was no... The Asu nade was nice, but I think Boise State as a whole just kind of went in and won that together. I don't think there was any one member that particularly carried that. I think they all just ended at the same time, and Santa Barbara was not ready for it, even a little bit.
Santa Barbara's sticking with the Symmetra. It's very interesting. They've also brought out the Farah, but there's no pocket for that. A double anti's going to land once again on Danab and Darius. Again, Immortality Field will keep him alive, and Boise State's going to end up losing 3. Nice little contest with that teleporter from the Symmetra by the side of Santa Barbara. They're able to wipe Boise State down. A large bagel, the only thing surviving and stopping the team kill from coming through, but a great little play there. Santa Barbara, don't know if the whole hog was needed at the end.
Very unnecessary whole hog, but you know, you win the fight, and Santa Barbara is sitting on a number of ultimates, so it's not necessarily bad that they wasted the whole hog there. However, Boise State does have Nano, and we're close enough to beat, probably negate the Shatter.
Nano's going to go around to Guac. There'll be an Ant Matrix from XD, and Boise State's just going to say, nice Ant Matrix, will play over it. Goblin's going to be able to take down Golby, get a Photon Barrier, and a Rally coming out. Plata will throw down the Blizzard as well. Blizzard's going to get multiple freezes. Navi is the next one taken out. XD will fall as well. Kel out of the mech is the first elimination on the side of Boise State, but the rest of the team making up for that as they'll pick up one more elimination. Charge will come out. Darius will get caught, and Boise State now one fight away from victory and a spot in the playoffs.
Darius is feeling really bad after that pin on his toenail. He looked like he was safe, but alas, he was not. Guac is like, I'm going to pin you. You are eliminated against the counter. Things are not looking good for Santa Barbara. If Boise State allows them to get this close to the payload, they're walking into 4 ultimates.
Well, there's the sound barrier. Pair of shatters will go out. Boise State's going to land it onto XD. There's already 3 members dead for Santa Barbara. The Broncos incredibly close here. Not even a charge from Guac can stop that payload, and Boise State will pick up the map 2 victory. The Broncos will get the series win, and they'll guarantee themselves a spot in the TESPA playoffs with an overall record of 8-2.
It's the Hammerfish, I'm telling you.
That's back-to-back player of the games for Goblin, too. You have ignited something in him with that hammer, even though he's not on Torque.
Did we expect anything different, honestly, though? Double play of the games from Goblin. Is this such a rare occurrence? That was a sad day for that. Gold peaked at exactly the wrong time as Goblin was still pushing into their spawn and got headshot eliminated. That is a Boise State victory that feels very good.
Boise State 2-0 victory over UC Santa Barbara to kick off the night. As we said, that means the Broncos are guaranteed a spot in the TESPA ABC Overwatch playoffs. USC Santa Barbara, they got to go in that 1-30 bracket. Good luck to them. Boise State definitely felt like they wanted that one. So now 8-2 record, 2 losses to 2 top 10 teams. Overall, you guys have the TESPA regular season for Boise State Blue. Got to be pretty successful.
Always a good day to be a Boise State fan, but it's especially an amazing day to be a Boise State fan when we very dominantly win 2 maps.
Yes.
I blame the hammer. I 100%.
Yeah, Santa Barbara's going to come steal that hammer.
Santa Barbara can try. It's a solid hammer. I think it can be wielded well in the hands of whoever will defend Boise State's honor there, Fish.
Well, do you have any final thoughts as we wrap up our first match of quite a few on the night here?
I think gold was a bit of a bright spot for Santa Barbara, but other than that, I don't think they had a whole lot of little suns on their team there. I don't think they were completely ready for everything Boise State Blue was coming at them with, to be honest, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, Santa Barbara tried. I mean, that second map on control was like the most fight we saw from them, but Boise State, they had a couple cheese comps ready. They felt ready to go. They wanted to punch their ticket. Couple of bad ults, but we won't have to worry about that. We're not done, though, with the blue team coming up next. The blue team, the only one left undefeated in their group in NECC. The schedule's starting to flip back over. They're seeing teams for the second time. Can they hold on? Find out after this break.
legendary parts for legendary wins.
Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We'll shift gears just a smidge. We'll stay with the Boise State Blue team. We've locked in their playoff spot in TESPA. We'll transition now to the NECC, where the Blue team is undefeated like always. Last week actually taking down the only other undefeated team in UC Santa Cruz in pretty dominating fashion, if I say so myself as well. So this team is all alone at the top. The schedule now has flipped over. We'll see some teams for the second time, and we're starting off with Johnson and Wales. We've seen them once before, D'Angelo, all the way back when NECC started. Johnson and Wales took down the Orange team, so Boise State Blue, maybe some revenge for little brother, but they also want to stay undefeated in NECC, and right now the way we saw them play in TESPA, yeah, there's things to work on, but even when Boise State's at that 80-90% mark, they're still better than a lot of teams.
Oh, yes, I think revenge is definitely going to be had for little brother Orange team there. I think Boise State Blue is definitely
I'm scared
ready.
of you with that hammer, honestly. Like, you're like 10 feet away, and the way you're wielding it, I'm still like worried.
Tomahawk.
Yeah, exactly.
I can absolutely nail this.
Yeah,
It's very top heavy. I
like
get
if
the
that
sense
thing gets going, like you're just gonna like KO me on the stage.
I truly do believe that. Yes, I believe that this
10
hammer
feet
could
here, I'm
probably
still
take somebody
very,
out.
very scared of what D'Angelo could do
Woo.
with that. So hopefully if Boise State wins, you'll stay in a good mood. I won't have to worry about
Very true.
it.
You're right.
And right now, Boise State's been playing pretty well. We did want to take a look back at some of the stats from that matchup against Santa Barbara. Goblin absolutely popping off, 20 eliminations, only 6 deaths, basically dying every time he had an ult, which is pretty impressive.
However,
I don't know if those stats for Darius are right. I'll be honest.
against the Daras, I don't know.
I think those
don't lie,
stats-
Fish. Looks like Darius Hanzo's doing pretty well.
He's the guy in solo queue. He was just like, I'm carrying. Why are we losing?
I'm caring why are we losing?
Well, stats
because
like that.
it's a team game.
Exactly.
That is why. Yes, the classical DPS mindset of, oh my god, I killed 4. How did we lose that fight?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. How did we lose that fight? You should watch a VOD and figure it out.
It's like I killed 4 after my whole team was dead, and I already wasted my high-impact ult. What do you mean we're losing? I don't think there'll be a problem for Boise State, though. I think you and I can agree, D'Angelo. Some of the ults in that Kings Row match towards the end against Santa Barbara were a little trigger-happy for Boise State.
Quirky. That's what we call that. We call that quirky. We call that creative. We call that trigger happy. We call that bad. Some of the ultimates
Wow.
were definitely not getting
Quite the
value
range there.
that they need to get on that last Kings Row map. But, a win's a win.
Exactly. They're trying to win again against Johnson and Wales. It is NECC, so we will play all 3 maps regardless of what happens. I don't believe Boise State Blue has dropped a map in the NECC. To my knowledge, we haven't seen all of the games, but to my knowledge from what we've seen, they have not dropped a map that includes #better against Midland with a 3-0 win. So we'll see if they do that against Johnson and Wales. But Johnson and Wales, they're trying to make the playoffs. They got the work cut out for them with Boise State Blue.
And we're not going to drop a map, Fish. We're not going to drop a map.
I think in the fall they only dropped 1 map, and
Fish.
you told me some of the players might have said that they were having a little bit too much fun.
Having a little bit too much fun. That is the problem that Boise State Blue runs into quite often, isn't it there, Fish?
We see
We've
the
talked about it before.
Yeah, a little bit too much fun, playing with their food a bit too much. We see the standings here. Boise State Blue all alone, as we mentioned last week. They took down UC Santa Cruz in dominating fashion. Johnson and Wales not off to the best of starts in the start of the season, but as we mentioned, now you're starting to see teams for the second time. Maybe you've changed it up. Maybe you've gotten a little bit better since these teams last met. We will have to see. Boise State Orange right around there with Johnson and Wales, so not only would a win for Blue help Boise State Orange, it also gets some revenge as Johnson and Wales beat Boise State Orange earlier in the season, and we'll see what the Broncos can do here. 6-0. Like I said, they beat Midland, who was the champions last semester. I think Blue's feeling themselves. It's really going to come down to do the players on map 3, if they've already won 2-0, don't have too much fun and end up throwing a map. Is kind of where I would be the most concerned if I'm a Bronco fan.
And we are Bronco fans.
Yes.
Fish.
We are.
So we are very concerned about that, Fish. We are very concerned. But Boise State has also shown a couple of times that even having a little too much fun, they still manage to be very successful.
Yep.
So it really just depends on whether or not the other team is able to punish them. And some teams are, but most teams are not.
Yeah, we've seen it. I mean, Boise State, so their few losses this year have been to very, very talented teams in Utah, Miami of Ohio. Johnson and Wales will be pulling off a huge upset, but anything can happen. Actually, looks like we've got an update. Johnson and Wales actually sitting at 3-3, so a little bit better than you and I were expecting. They're right around the middle of the pack. Still, Boise State at that 80-90%. We probably saw them in our first match. Probably feels favored against Johnson and Wales, but you play maybe too much Farah, maybe you play too much Sombra. Maybe that could cost Boise State Blue if they get that creative.
That was a little bit of an there, throwback to the Orange game. There,
I'm just naming bad
DPS.
I'm naming bad DPS heroes. I'm just like Sombra, Farah, Reaper's not very good unless you're Fresno's. Not even Fresno State. Fresno plays like Genji. Yeah, I mean those three feel kind of like the big trash right now to me.
The big trash,
yeah.
Absolutely. I would argue that Sombra is definitely the biggest trash of the three. Which is ironic, because she's also the most likely to be run, at least from Boise State teams, as we've seen.
She has a lot of value. It's just
not in the current meta.
It's like we've seen, like, I mean, no shade of Frost. He'll hit like a 6-man EMP, and we'll get hyped, and then the other team still wins, and you're just like, but you hit a 6-man ult. Like, that shouldn't happen. It's not Frost's fault. It's the hero is garbage. I don't know how she hasn't been buffed recently. They're like, yeah, you get a buff Reaper. You get a buff Farah. You get like 3 buffs Genji for some unknown reason. And then they're like, Sombra. People aren't going to play the game when Sombra's in the field. We don't like that.
Yes. I was about to touch on that, Fish. That is why Sombra has not gotten buffed. Sombra is hard to buff because Sombra metas are very much metas of not letting certain members on the enemy team play the game.
Reinhardt.
And that is definitely not a very, I mean, if you don't get to play the game, you don't get to have fun with the game.
You're not going to buy skins.
And so everybody is is very scared of Sombra metas. So I do not think that there are very many people that are currently extremely upset with her place in the meta. I do not think there are too many people that are like, you know what this meta needs more of, Fish? You know what this needs more of?
What would that be, D'Angelo?
This needs more of not being able to use any of your abilities in a game that is defined by its ability usage and the difference of each hero relating to one another. This is definitely, that is what the meta needs absolutely, to take away the very things that define Overwatch. That's what we need.
I mean, I guess Sombra one-tricks are probably saying that. I'm sure like r/Sombra mains, if that's a thing, is probably up in arms right now.
I'm sure r/Sombra mains is pretty used to Sombra being a generally meta bad hero. I do not think r/Sombra mains, I do not think that their end goal, their realistic end goal, what they would like to happen, I don't think it's for Sombra to be meta. Maybe they want her more viable, but I don't think if you go into one-tricking Sombra, I think you know to a degree what you're getting into. I think you know you're not going for the meta pick. I think you're just doing it because it's fun, or Sombra's a very cool hero. Sombra's character itself is absolutely amazing.
Or you just hate 6 other people, and you don't want them to play the game.
Absolutely.
Actually, 11 other people. You hate the other team and your own team.
You hate 11 other. You are an angry person.
Yes.
And so you are a Sombra
main.
And
you sat in DPS queue for 10 minutes. It's all just very, very bad. We are waiting for Boise State Blue to take on Johnson and Wales in the NECC. We'll play all 3 maps. I don't think we'll see Sombra as much as we're ragging on her. Boise State Blue at 6-0 though. Maybe they want to try and get creative. Maybe they're trying to predict the meta. I don't know. We'll see. I think we'll see a lot of Torbjorn. We'll see a lot of Tracer and probably a lot of Hanzo. Would be my guess for Boise State Blue.
I hope we see a lot of Torbjorn, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, you have that hand. We've seen – the weird thing is we've seen Torbjorn, and it's not Goblin. It's Plato, which is just like very – like Goblin made – I don't want to say a name for himself at Boise State, but it'd be like, all right, there's Goblin on that Torbjorn again. Then he absolutely pop off, and we're like, wait, why did we insult him on the Torbjorn? Now he's on, like, the Hanzo, and we see it's Plato on the Torbjorn. So every DPS on Boise State can apparently play Torbjorn at this point. Goblin's just taught all of them.
Goblin's a beautiful person to cast for because you simultaneously insult and call his flanks God tier, and so it's great.
Goblin reminds me a lot of some of the Boise State League of Legends players, where you're just like, you shouldn't be there, and then he gets a triple kill, and you're like, all right, I can't even like argue why you were there. You got a triple kill, so we'll see how this game's going to go. Red team's got a Symmetra, and that's going to be Goblin. We see Robe on it as well, but there's Plato. The rest of Boise State's going to wrap things up in short order. Turtle going to take it down. Capital, oh, he barely survives. No team kill for Boise State, but they'll hold him in the spot.
Plato on the Junkrat, you just win on this point. You just win. Better Junkrat wins on this point if both teams are running Junkrat. And especially now that Boise State has the advantage of having the point, we get to set our Symmetra up. Things are looking pretty good for Boise State. It's looking like Johnson and Wales might just want to go next map unless they pull something absolutely miracle.
Oh, there's a nice teleport from Johnson Wales. Get behind the side of Boise State. Robe's able to get a couple of turns up. Goblin will be taken out there. Immortality Field in. And Matrix goes down, but Boise State caught a bit off guard. The Riptire from Plato's able to take down Capital. Broncos still down 2, however. Guac barely surviving. He'll be burned down, and that was a great little flank by Robe with the teleport.
Absolutely, Robe carry, amazing flank. Congratulations, you just gave your team the point, and you'll probably get more percent than 18. Because Boise State, it's going to take at least until 18 for them to engage here, but very nice job. That was absolutely, it could not be stated enough how hard the Boise State comp was to break there and how easily Robe did it.
Boise State's going to lose both their DPS members, including Shinobi winning the battle of the Junkrats. And Boise State right now after that fast start, unfortunately all that happened before the point unlocked. Now they've got to retreat. They've got several ults available. They're going to teleport in once again. Photon Barrier from Goblin will go down to allow the Broncos to push through. Plato takes out Falcon. There's no Rhine now on the other side. Photon Barrier and a grab come out as well as the Ant Matrix. And all of that damage is going to burn through Boise State.
To be fair, though, now Boise State has those same ultimates to use against Johnson and Wales. So while Johnson and Wales has the general defensive position advantage, Boise State now does have the ultimate advantage. I do think we're setting up for probably a tire grab combo, which Johnson and Wales will have to look out for that. There will be a lot of pressure on Sertle to do something about that, in particular with his amplification matrix. But things are looking pretty okay for Boise State, to be honest.
Falcon is going to miss. There's a Riptire that comes out. Kel taken out, so no grab available for Boise State, and all Sertle loses is the Immortality Field. Boise State thrown down their own Amp Matrix as well, but that's only allowed them to get up onto the high ground. Now the Broncos got to start fighting. Goblin on the Pharah. Interesting choice for this map, but he's able to pick up elimination onto Sertle. Shatter going to be blocked there by Falcon. Riptire from Shinobi coming through. We're going to see the sound barrier come out. Should allow the Broncos to stabilize through that Riptire. Grab's going to come out from Cal. That one was a bit of a whiff there in overtime. Now we're going to see a sound barrier response from Capital and Boise State. After that hot start, looks like they might be dropping map number 1. Kel takes down Shinobi before he gives up his own life. Goblin picks up one more onto Rowe. Both teams down 2. Now Goblin will go down. Large Bagel barely surviving with that Immortality Field. We see the grab from Nico come out. Boise State will be off the point with their last 3 members. And what a start for Johnson and Wales.
What a start for Robe in particular. I touched on it before, Fish, but I cannot emphasize enough how hard a Symmetra defense, a Symmetra Junkrat defense, when you've already got the point on that particular map, I cannot emphasize enough how hard that defense is to break. And Robe just very effortlessly teleported in, eliminated the team, did an absolutely amazing job. Johnson and Wales, even though I am a very diehard Boise State fan, they totally deserved that map because Boise State Blue was absolutely just outplayed, particularly in the DPS department.
Yeah, Boise State, I thought they had him in the spawn. Rowe pulls off a great teleporter to get Johnson Wales out of that spawn tramp. And now Boise State has to win this map, or Johnson and Wales will guarantee that they hand the Broncos at least their first drop map of the game. We do see a Wrecking Ball on that blue side. If that's still Johnson and Wales, and it is. Falcon is looking for a cheeky back flank. Watch him pick up the first one onto Capital. Goblin, though, taken out by Shinobi. Both teams down 1. Now a large bagel gets taken out by Shinobi on that McCree. Plato looking for the flank, can't quite find it. Rez will go out onto a large bagel. He dies immediately again. Looks like Boise State's trying to unlock the point to start. Plato taken out by Shinobi. Robes on that Tracer just being an all-around nuisance. And once again, a very poor start for Boise State as they're going to have to reset.
Things are looking pretty good when we eliminated the Zenyatta on ball, but that's just kind of how things go. But then Shinobi just proceeded to absolutely mess up 1/3 of Boise State's team, and Asu, poor Asu, only has 1 res. So we were still down 1.
Boise State brought out the Pharmacy and the Echo right into a McCree, and Shinobi made them pay. For now, the Broncos have not considered swapping. You see the health bar is incredibly low for most of Boise State. Several ults available. We'll start with an Ant Matrix from Sertle. The pulse bomb from Robe as well as Goblin's looking for a flank. Boise State's going to backdoor onto the point, trying to cap it there, contested by Robe on that Tracer. Goblin looking for an angle, finds a back line right onto Capital. One more shot should do it. He's able to take you down. Shinobi and Falcon will fall as well, and Boise State's this turn going to be the team pulls off the cheeky little flank and takes down 4 members.
Very clean rotation by Boise State. They rotated together. They rotated in a way that Johnson and Wales was not ready for them. They cut. Goblin did flank, but Goblin flanked with at least 2 other team members. So really, it was just the entirety of Boise State being where Johnson and Wales was not ready for them. And now there's a lot of pressure on Shinobu to get a pick onto the Pharah before she's able to barrage and mess up their team. Because of Kel's bubble, she should be able to get a large amount of barrage value. She can't get immediately eliminated.
Takes down Capital all low. There's a grab that comes out. He's going to throw out the rocket barrage, but a double pulse bomb from Robe means Boise State's going to lose 3, so will Johnson and Wales. Johnson Wales slightly closer to the point. Looks like we got a bit of a backdoor attempt here from Robe. Goblin's going to find that one out, take him down. Minefield's going to be dropped by Falcon as Johnson and Wales now very split up on the point. Falcon will go down, and what looked like an even fight, Johnson and Wales kind of threw there trying to get a cheeky backdoor.
Rogue was definitely giving some signs of life to Johnson and Wales there, but Boise State ultimately did end up winning that, and we weren't forced to use any more ultimates, any more high-impact ultimates other than the barrage. So we're still holding on to grabs, so things are still looking really rough for Johnson and Wales. Unless Sertle gets the Hail Mary of all amplification matrices, there's not a whole lot of hope in terms of ultimates.
Got the grab down. Boise State gets 1 point immortality. Field keeps everybody else alive. Nico will now fall as well. Shinobu incredibly low. Revive does go out on the Guac. Asu's been able to get very good value with that Mercy.
Absolutely.
See a backdoor attempt once again here for Johnson and Wales. Boise State's going to find that one out. Falcon will be taken down. Primal Rage going to come out from Guac. Boise State starting to wrap things up. Johnson and Wales can't find themselves in a fair fight. Deadeye from Shinobu's a last-ditch effort here. It will find absolutely nothing. And Boise State's going to send us to map number 3 on Control.
We see Goblin on the Pharah, which is not Torbjorn, which is not who this hammer represents.
Yes.
But Goblin is getting value, and so therefore, the hammer has power. The hammer is having effect on the game. Good job, Goblin. Keep it up. Something subtle that you did touch on, Fish, that is happening that you don't really see in the kill feed too often is Asu with those reses. When both teams DPS, so when Goblin and Rogue both got double kills on the enemy team, and then other kills were picked up, so both teams were 3 in fight, Asu was able to get the res with Kel's bubble. Kel's bubble has been a part of every single res that Asu has gotten. So that is the most unsung hero thing that has been going on between Asu and Kel that has been enabling Boise State to keep holding all of these and to kind of mitigate some of Rogue's effect.
Rogue's going to pull back on the Symmetra. Going to try and set up Johnson and Wales right on that point with those annoying sentries. You got the teleporter pad as well. Boise State will burn that one down rather quickly. The Broncos still sticking with that Pharah and the Mercy for Goblin and Asu. Hopefully Asu doesn't have to get too many reses out. That would mean Boise State is losing members, and Guac will be the first one to fall. Plato will go down as well. Serves Immortality Field taken out for Boise State. Kel has to be careful. Several numbers low for Johnson and Wales. They're able to heal back up, and Boise State's got to wait for respawn.
Honestly, there was a lot of pressure on Sertle in that fight because many of his team members were below half HP, many of his squishy team members. So good job, Sertle, there, and he has the amplification matrix to reward him for a job well done and quite well sustained, Fish.
Well, here comes Plato. He's looking for the flanks, trying to at least take down some of those sentry turrets. Shinobu's going to find him, and he's going to have to retreat. Rocket Barrage for Goblin. He thought about it for a moment, gets spotted out. He's going to hold odd to it. Now he's going to throw it down. Triple kill picked up there. Capital's going to get the boot, but it's too little too late. Goblin's going to get one more. Capital last but alive. The team kill, swing that hammer around the Angelo. Goblin salutes the crowd with the 4K.
It is being swung around vicariously. You cannot see it on the camera, but it does exist. Good job, Goblin. It does appear that Bagel and Plato were the prices of that fight, but they will be back before Johnson and Wales next engage, so things aren't looking too bad for Boise State.
How about another 3K for Goblin? He picks him up right to the teleporter. Guac gets one more. Now we're seeing Johnson Wales is another team kill coming out. Goblin is absolutely on fire, and he's almost got another barrage.
More vicarious hammer swinging. Let's go. Let's hope it's another 4K like it was last time. That would be absolutely amazing. And because of that amazing 3K without any ultimates used whatsoever, Boise State is sitting at 36%, and Johnson and Wales is walking into barrage, grab, duplicate. So Boise State's, the thing they most need to watch out for is not using all their ultimates in one place. And honestly, Fish, there are worse problems to have.
Goblin setting up here. Oh, he thought he had an opportunity. We do see a huge shadow from Falcon's going to be able to stun two. Grab comes out. Soundberry from Capital as well. Rocket Barrage going to burn through those shields. Still pick up two. Valkyrie was used. A great nano from a large bagels. How Goblin's able to pick up another triple kill. Johnson and Wales commits every ult in that fight. There's those revives. And Boise State will not lose a single member.
Not
They'll
lose
lose
a single
Plato,
member?
sorry, the very
well,
end.
until Plato. Caster's curse there, Fish. You did that.
I did it to him.
You did it to him. You did Plato dirty like that. Plato did not deserve that, Fish.
I was
did
too
him
confident.
dirty.
That was my fault, but it's kind of like Johnson and Wales walking into that fight with all of their ultimates. They threw him down, and Boise State said, okay, we'll just nano the Rocket Barrage.
In the grab. That is something. Goblin, brave man that he is, barraged in the grab, looking a Deadeye in the face. On paper, there is no way that should have worked. But here, we witnessed it. We saw it happen. We saw it win the fight, and Boise State was even able to hold on to their own grab. So things are not looking good, especially with that double K, one of which is on their main healer for Johnson and Wales.
Yeah, nice primal range there. Goblin's going to get one more with Attack Visor up for Robe. He was a big part of the fight. Now they'll throw down the grab just to guarantee nobody for Johnson and Wales that can contest. And Boise State absolutely dominates. They've come alive there on map number 3, and I would be shocked if it's anyone but Goblin picks up player of the game.
I would feel like there is no justice in the world if it was anybody other than Goblin for play of the
Justice
game.
reigns from above.
Yes! You picked up on my pun, Fish. We are on the same wavelength. I appreciate that. This was a very well-executed rocket barrage by Goblin and a very well-executed just team fight in general by the side of Boise State.
Yeah, well, you do not want to miss this 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard, broadcast live from the BSU Esports Arena. Perfect opportunity to win prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media. The finals will be live on Saturday, April 16th. Boise State was a little bit scary there for just a bit. They end up pulling away odd control in the very end. And, I mean, we saw Johnson Wales full commit. They had the McCree. They had the Soldier.
Yep.
They still couldn't gun down the Pharah.
They were very unhappy with Goblin.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. Goblin was definitely doing a little bit of team carrying. That's why we have the hammer. The hammer of Goblin. The hammer of blessings upon Boise State. Absolutely amazing. Boise State did a wonderful job there. There were lots of things going on. I mean, Goblin was obviously the most dominant one popping up in the kill feed, but that is not the only thing that Boise State had going for them that was very special. Like we mentioned, Asu with the reses, but equally important to those same reses was Kel with the very subtle bubbles that were very, very important. Because it's very likely that through most of those reses, without the bubble, Asu would have been eliminated one way or the other without getting the res off. And I mean, that's the risk of playing Mercy. That's the cost of getting a res, is you put yourself in a vulnerable position, but that can be completely negated with a Zarya bubble from Kel, as we saw here, to great effect. There were also a lot of positive spots from Plato as well, not to mention our other DPS too much without mentioning Plato. He did also do a wonderful job, but the Torb Hammer is a Goblin-specific power-up.
Yep.
And power-up we did see Goblin do.
Yeah, Goblin, I mean, I think at one point he probably picked up 10 to 12 of Boise State's, like, 14 eliminations in 3 fights. I mean, just absolutely caught on fire there. Boise State a little bit sluggish on that first map of control. Now we move to Blizzard World. We'll see if the Pharah comes out. I would expect Johnson and Wales' first comp going in blind to be completely dead set around countering that Pharah, and then they'll adjust if Goblin changes.
Honestly, even knowing that Santa Barbara is going to hard counter his Pharah, I would not be surprised if Goblin still at least gave Pharah a shot.
Yep.
Because that is just what we have seen from Goblin. And honestly, usually it is worth giving a fight for Goblin in particular. In general, I would not recommend running a far end to double hit scan if you expect that they're going to run double hit scan.
I would,
but
100%, yeah.
Goblin is a man of many mysteries.
Yeah. Yeah, I expect the Pharah to immediately come out for Boise State. I think you're absolutely right. I think Goblin's on the mindset, well, you couldn't stop me before. I don't believe you're going to be able to stop me again. And I think Johnson and Wales come out of the mindset of McCree Soldier, and let's make sure that Pharah never leaves the ground. We'll go to Blizzard World. And Johnson and Wales, they want to get off Pharah's crazy ride.
I see what you did there, Fish. Respect it. I would also not be surprised if Santa Barbara wanted to run a Zenyatta or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see what Johnson and Wales wants to do because, I mean, you get that first big win on the control map. You kind of dominate Boise State in the mirror, and then the next two maps, Boise State just kind of is like, okay, you know what, we were just warming up. We were still a little fatigued celebrating our playoff berth in TESPA. I mean, because they absolutely got rolled on those next two maps. So maybe for Johnson Wales, I could see that tilt coming in of like, what do we want to do? We're dying to Rocket Barrage in grab through Sound Barrier. I can see Johnson Wales maybe coming out a little bit tilted, but we'll have to see.
Completely understandable, especially on the side of Shinobu with that McCree looking right at the Pharah but still dying to the barrage. That was very much a scary time for both DPS, and it was just an ultimate, it was just a matter of which one would get the elimination faster.
Well, Plato's going to pick up that first elimination on Danico. They're both on the Ash with the headshot for Plato. Immediately guns him down. Sertle not even going to try for the res. You see the rest of Johnson and Wales has retreated there. Rogue's able to punch down Goblin, who's now on that tracer. Shinobu takes down a large bagel, so despite the hot start, Boise State cools off quite quickly. Asu will get the res onto a large bagel. Kel.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah, you know what?
Don't talk about
he
it,
was
Fish.
just early resetting. He was
Early resetting, absolutely. A large bagel was the price twice in that fight.
Uh-oh.
Oh, seems like Johnson Wales is having a little bit of a struggle, which will send us to a pause screen. Hopefully they'll be able to solve that relatively quickly. That would be incredibly unfortunate if they were just down a player. That's one of the worst things to be, so.
Yeah, especially after that great start. And they did come out with the McCree
Absolutely.
Soldier. They were ready for that far. They're like, no, not again.
They're
No.
like, McCree Ash, never again. First point Blizzard. You know what? Yep. Here it is, guys. We are going to absolutely smash them. And Goblin, to his credit, did not come out on the Pharah. And honestly, it would have been a really, really bad idea walking into a fully pocketed Ash and a McCree first point attack Blizzard World. There are a few situations in which Pharah would have been less ideal than that.
Does look like we do have a small roll swap on the side of Johnson Wales. Robe's now in the tank position.
I did notice that, Fish. I wonder if he'll be able to be just as dominant on tank as he was on DPS. I sincerely hope so for the side of Johnson and Wales, but the Boise State fan in me
That's
hopes he's...
that he wanted to do that is, well, Capital's going to get a pick onto Plato. Maybe the swap has ignited something on Johnson and Wales. Robe very low on that wrecking ball. There's Deadeye available for Shinobu if he wants to use it. There's a Valkyrie that will come out. Capital now taken down. Nano goes on to Guac. Kel barely surviving in that mech. Guac, oh man, his health bar went from full to nearly dead in just a heartbeat, but Johnson and Wales retreating now without Valkyrie.
And that was another little subtle Kel play that we saw. Asu absolutely would have been eliminated by Robe and absolutely would have lost them this fight if he was not able to get that res on Plato who was initially picked. So another subtle little Kel play that enabled Boise State to take this first point that I feel like deserves to be mentioned, Fish.
Well, after that play, Boise State starts just absolutely running down the side of Johnson and Wales. They're going to go running for the hills. Falcon is incredibly low. Plato's going to take him out. Capital will go down as well. And a sluggish start for Boise State. This time it didn't take him a whole map, just took him one fight.
And honestly, one fight is much better than a single map there, Fish. It looks like Plato would like that kill on that Mercy.
He's looking.
He's thinking about it. He's waiting for her.
Him and Goblin combined for the double headshot. Oh, they brought out Shinobu on the Widowmaker. Plato's going to get another headshot. The Mercy pocket is tad too strong. Capital tries to flank, throws down the Matrix. Dragon Strike will come through for Goblin. Not going to be able to find much. We do see a Valkyrie and a Nano for Boise State. Walk with Primal Rage just to heal back up to full. AC with the Battle Mercy going to punch down Robe. And it Kel's another subtle Kel play. chilling on the payload.
Another subtle kill play, doing the Lord's work, chilling on the payload, while Asu pops off as Battle Mercy eliminations on not one, but both of the tanks of Johnson and Wales. And Kel just pushing that payload along.
He's having a ton of fun right now.
Absolutely, the most fun. Not popping up in the kill feed at all, just sitting on the cart. I'm surprised we haven't seen an emote pop out of him just yet, Fish, just to make his view.
Goblin with the headshot.
Very nice.
The rest of Boise State has just said, all right, Johnson Wales, you've had your fun. We will now make sure your fun has ended. Double Answer's going to land. Capital incredibly low. He's taken out. Plato does get taken down. We'll see if Ace is able to pick up the res. Dragon Strike comes through. There's the res. Bob is joining the fight as Goblin does get taken out. Plato gets one before Shinobu gets a headshot onto him, and all the meanwhile, the payload's just been pushing consistently the whole time.
I do not think Asu has been denied a single res that he has gone for in his entire set of games. Fish?
Yeah, he has not been denied a res. I don't think Sertle's been denied a res. Sertle has been dead a couple times. Now we get the Kel Cam. We're going to see the deep bomb come out. It will simply just take down Capital's Immortality Field, but it distracts inside Johnson Wales enough for Plato and Goblin and Glock to be able to pick up a handful of eliminations. Call it a team kill. Call it a Boise State win once again on that team fight.
And things are looking pretty good for the side of Boise State. We have Primal, so if we get the next elimination on them, we can just potentially hold them in their spawn doors. A lot of pressure on Rogue to get this Hail Mary of all gravitic fluxes, and things are not looking pretty good with these purple like that and down to half HP. And Johnson and Wales' Immortality Field is already spent.
No Immortality Field. There's the Valkyrie. There's that Primal Rage for Guac. Plato's going to get the first elimination on the Falcon. Robe is chilling behind his shield. There's that Deadeye. And a bit of a C9 comes out there from the side of Johnson and Wales. They took just a tad too long, and Boise State will wrap it up there. 3 minutes on the clock, and the Broncos put 3 on the board.
The pressure was on Rogue to perform with that Gravitic's Flux. He was their best hope at prolonging that Boise State push, and he was unable to charge it, which is very bad for Johnson and Wales because 3 minutes and 42 seconds is definitely a very nice time bank for Boise State to have. So if you're a Boise State fan like we are, Fish, things are looking pretty good. But if you're hoping for Johnson and Wales to pull this out, a little unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the Johnson and Wales Robe and Nico role swap. I don't think Robe was very comfortable on that Sigma. I don't think he got a single ult at all. So if I'm Johnson and Wales, I might consider swapping them back to their original roles that we saw.
Yes, but also to be completely fair to Rogue, they were kind of getting rolled until third point,
That is true.
where he almost had his ultimate. And you know, Fish, it's quite hard to charge your ultimate when you're getting rolled.
That is true. There is no mechanic in Overwatch to stop the snowball.
Unless you fully reset the enemy team, which again is really hard to do.
Yeah.
If you're getting rolled and not a full team yourself.
Well, we'll see. It looks like we've still got... Oh, no. Goblin's probably not going to have a lot of fun into the Widow and the Hanzo. Plato's already not having fun. He's going to hang out back there.
Plato is having plenty of fun. I don't know what
His
you're
health
talking
bar did
about.
not have fun. I don't think his
Blind
healers
Dance
had fun either.
Is a healer ult charge. Ult charge is the most fun you can have as a Mercy. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Large
Hopefully
Bagel's
Asu
not
can get
having
that
fun.
res.
There's a headshot from him, from Falcon. Asu's got to try and find that res. I don't think he's going to be able to.
Not with those snipers looking at him.
I think Johnson Wales was actually camping out the Resurrect. Now they're going to push with a Large Bagel respawn, but he doesn't have to get back to point. Falcon's going to get another elimination onto Guac.
Yikes.
Acer's going to be able to get this res, though. Guac dying in a favorable place. Guac's able to immediately respond with a pick onto Nico. Shinobu will go down as well, and it looks like once again Johnson and Wales having a bit of an issue there. Looks like we have lost Rogue once again. Now he's back.
Johnson and Wales, Falcon definitely made an attempt to carry that fight. He got the kill onto their main healer very early into the fight and then got the kill onto their main tank. Unfortunately, Asu was able to res around that first point corner. And Robe reconnecting as Diva. Ish.
Yeah, maybe you have to wonder if the roll swap came out just due to some latency issues. I think it's a little bit easier to play the tank than DPS with some lag. We'll have to see. Nico's able to get one onto Goblin. Watching for that Asu res. Sertal's going to get that res from Falcon. Looks like Asu's going to have to commit to Valkyrie, but no res in store. Guac's now going to jump onto the back line, trying to electrocute down somebody. Nico will be taken out. There's a res from Asu onto Plato. Boise State still down one member, though. Dragon Strike comes through from Shinobu. Boise State will dodge that one expertly. Kell's going to throw out the grab. That should allow Boise State with a nano on to Kell to be able to pick up some damage. We do get the nano onto Falcon. Bob comes in from the side of Boise State, and with that grab, they're able to clean up that fight pretty quickly.
That was a very important res that Asu got onto Plato there, so that not only could he charge Bob, but use Bob to secure the fight. And now Goblin's biggest job is not to get picked here, because Boise State is kind of relying on him as their next win condition. Kind of relying on him against both hit scans to get a nice barrage. Hopefully Kell's able to get the bubble, otherwise it's kind of a death sentence for Goblin, to be perfectly honest, Fish.
Yeah, Johnson and Wales has not given up on this. Hit scan, we do not like you, Goblin, on this Pharah mentality. They've swapped from the Widowmaker to the Ash. Nico's going to be able to take down Goblin before that Rocket Barrage even comes out. Falcon with a great pick onto Asu as well. And that could spell doom for Boise State's defense here on the first point. Sertal's going to commit the Valkyrie. The Deadeye from Nico that comes out as well. Boise State will dodge that one, but they'll lose Kell and a large bagel, and they're going to lose the payload as well.
Honestly, it was unlikely that after that Far Mercy pick, it was unlikely that Johnson and Wales needed both the Mercy Valk and the High Noon, but considering Mercy is the main healer for Johnson and Wales, I do understand why she did that. It's likely she'll have it charged before the next fight or before she next needs it. But they were already up 2 in the Far Mercy in a very favorable position. Not necessarily, they didn't necessarily need that, but you know, there is something to be said for capping the point, which they did, even if they did overall.
Guac's going to use that Primal Rage to heal up to full life. He's now going to have to jump in with that 1,000 HP. Immediately gets taken down. Orbit Discord nearly burns it. He's going to have to retreat and get healed up. Whole Hog from Falcon will come out as well. Now Guac will go jumping back in. Going to try and find a pick onto Nico, and he'll do just that with an assist from Goblin. There's a nano onto Guac now. They do have the Transcendence of Capital available if they want to use it. He's going to pop it, but a little bit too late. His 2 members have already gone down. AC with that Valkyrie should be able to revive Goblin. Pulse Bomb comes out. Capital will fall. And Boise State's able to get that revive just as they need it and send Johnson and Wales retreating.
Capital popped the Transcendence to save Sertal. Was not able to, just one touch too late, and then got Pulse Bomb securing the fight for Boise State. Things are looking pretty good as long as we don't get our Far Mercy. As long as we don't get picked out by a Deadeye or a Diva Bomb, which are both very telegraphed ults that are relatively easy to avoid. So as long as we don't get caught off guard by that, things are looking pretty nice for Boise State hold here, especially if Guac doesn't go too over-aggressive where nobody can help him.
He's going to get in there to be able to get away. Kell with that Diva Bomb. Ooh, that is, I don't think what he was looking for there. So that's going to be one wasted off to the side of Boise State. A Valkyrie comes out from Sertal. Boise State standing for now. They still have that Pulse Bomb available. Nice hook from Falcon once again. Cal now having some issues with that statue. Him and that statue have not gotten along very well. Shinobu's able to take down a large bagel. Goblin gets one back onto Capital. Both teams down a healer. Now Rope's able to take down Goblin, and Boise State's probably going to have to retreat here. Guac will fall as well, and Kell taken out of the mech. Revive comes out. Plato gets a feel-good kill, but not much more than that. Goblin will pick up one. They're trying to stall off this fight. Plato gets taken out. Goblin's trying to hop onto Sertal, takes him down. Whole Hog comes out. Goblin not able to line of sight it, and Capital gets the kill.
Honestly, Boise State does get another full contest here. Goblin will probably come late into the fight, so Boise State kind of wants to wait until he at least has line of sight because he's Hanzo. But if we get this initial pick onto Falcon, this next fight is as good as ours.
There's a Dragon Strike from the spawn right on top of the team. Capital and Falcon are both taken out. Asu commits to Valkyrie. A large bagel does get the kill as Nico was trying to backdoor on that payload. Revive will come out. Should see one last fight for Johnson and Wales.
And that one last fight for Johnson and Wales, they're gonna need to get some really big value out of some ultimates, or Falcon's just gonna need to pop off like he has absolutely been doing the rest of this fight. However, with that nano, we can send our monkey in. And so things are looking pretty good for Boise State too. The players to watch are a large bagel with the nano, and Shinobu and Sertal. And Falcon on the side of Johnson.
Guac goes jumping in with that nano. Time running out. Capital's taking it down. There's a Dragon Strike and a Valkyrie committed. Falcon will be gunned down by Boise State as well. Deadeye comes out from Nico. Robe's going to throw out the Diva Bomb. Primal Rage comes out. Robe does take down Kel. They get the revive onto Falcon. Things turning for the side of Johnson and Wales. Nice hook there from Falcon. Next taken out from Robe. Shinobu's going to get jumped on there by Guak. Should be able to be burnt down, and he will. Now, unfortunately for Johnson and Wales, no revive available. They're going to start losing members. Falcon's going to get anti. He will fall along with Capital. Ace is going to be the one with the res. And Boise State going to be able to pick up that, and they'll guarantee themselves a win in the series, but they still got one more map to go to keep that perfect map record intact.
And the perfect map record here, Fish, is what we are here for. It's why we brought in the big guns, why we brought in the hammer, why Goblin is sitting here with his third play of the game in the row on top of the Asu res.
Yeah, this was absolutely incredible. As Boise State, I thought they had lost this fight. They had a couple of DPS alive, and Goblin just gets absolutely a huge number of picks that stopped Johnson and Whale. He did get gunned down there at the end by the whole hog, but Boise State picks up that map win. They are 2-0 in the series. As we mentioned, we'll play the third map regardless. The Broncos have moved to 7-0 officially, though, and I will say it is maybe a bit of concern how slow they've started on the last few maps, but they've been able to rally and come away with the map win regardless.
Now, another philosophical question, Fish.
Yes.
Is it really that bad that they start so slow if they finish so fast?
Only if they keep starting slower and give themselves less and less time.
Very true. We'll see if Boise State's able to keep it up. I personally think, it's worked for 2 maps. I don't think it'll necessarily fail them going into this third one. But Boise State has been known to get a little bit cocky once the win has already been secured in terms of the championships and things like that. But the perfect map record is what we're here for.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we brought in the big guns.
So
That's why
the hammer.
Goblin's been popping off. That's
Oh,
why Asu's been performing absolutely exceptionally on the Mercy,
100%.
which is also more subtle than Goblin getting team kills, but not as subtle as all of Kel's enabling of the resurrections.
Yeah, Boise State Blue, they've taken about one fight on both the maps on Hybrid and Control where it was kind of like, that wasn't the best start. And then they've kind of rallied. They put everything together. So we'll see what Johnson and Wales has in store for them. Final map here, as we mentioned, Boise State's picked up the win. But we still play all 3 maps regardless. And I'll be curious to see if Johnson Wales once again commits this full hit scan, full sniper. We hate Farah, and we're going to make sure it has no place on this game.
I am convinced, for the side of Boise State, I am convinced that Boise State is, in fact, I am convinced that they are doing very sloppy first fights intentionally to kind of test the water, see what's up. That's my story. I'm going to stick to it. I think any sloppiness on the side of Boise State is absolutely 100% intentional. I don't know if you can detect my sarcasm there, Fish. But I do think it's something that will not continue throughout the entirety of the match.
Well, Boise State's going with the Nano Blade comp from Goblin and Asu. We'll see as Plato gets absolutely destroyed by Shinobu in a battle of the Widowmakers. Goblin gets taken down there as well. And the trend will continue with a very, very poor first fight here for Boise State. Looks like they'll just push for payload percentage now. The high ground is all on the side of Johnson and Wales. Plato's going to get a headshot once again, and Shinobu might have found his calling on this Widowmaker.
Shinobu is definitely Johnson and Wales hit scan specialist. We've seen him perform very dominantly on McCree and now very dominantly on Widowmaker. Goblin will have to put a stop to that, and considering Zertle, who's also a very capable Mercy that we've mentioned a number of times, he'll have to be going into a hard-pocketed Widow. So
we do see that swap back from Robe and Nico, which maybe that's worked out. Shinobu finally gets taken down by Asu. Capital has the Orbit Discord. Falcon gets another one, and Boise State has not really found much pressure around this first corner. There's that res onto Shinobu. Zertle doing a good job getting those off. Walk now in a duel against both tanks for Johnson and Wales. Barely kept alive.
more than just the tanks.
Yeah, the rest of the team joined him, and Shinobu's going to get a third headshot onto Plato.
I am convinced that the Boise State win condition here is eliminate Shinobu and you win.
Which make him kill himself with the deflect from Goblin.
Absolutely, that would be the most beautiful. Now, camp the body, don't let Zertle get the res, and here we go. Boise State might just cap first point.
Goblin has swapped over to the Hanzo, so both teams now with that double sniper. We'll see if they're finally able to shut down Shinobu. They did stop the res. Not much more. Payload pushed around that first corner. Kel is taken out of the mech, which is a scary place to be for a baby diva. There's Shinobu back in the flesh. Another headshot onto Asu. Falcon's going to take down the baby diva. Goblin's trying to find something onto Capital. He barely survives there. 17 health, if not lower. The rest of the team knows he's there. Infrared sight's going to come out from Shinobu and Plato. There's great res onto Capital, and Boise State's going to be down a man.
Someone stop Sertle, please. Sertle has gotten all of the important reses, and while you're at it, stop Shinobu. We've known that Shinobu has been a problem since he popped out on that amazing McCree, and it is just way more of a problem on Havana with that win.
See the grab come out from Nico. Boise State's able to take down Kel. The Transcendence from Capital feels a bit risky there. They did drop that nano onto Guac. We'll see if he wants to commit the minefield or not. They do take down Capital and Nico, so both teams down 2. See if they can stop the res from Turtle. Shinobu's going to get another one onto Plato. That man is undefeated in that DPS 1v1. Now they're gonna, finally gets taken out by Goblin on that Widowmaker. They caught him off guard. He was looking at Wrecking Ball, and that's the pick Boise they need.
Caster's Curse. Resurrection has also, is it a Caster's Curse if it hurts the enemy team fish?
Yes.
I would consider that more of a
Blessing.
Caster's Blessing in terms of Boise State. So maybe keep doing that, because Shinobu being in spawn is definitely beneficial to the side of Boise State.
Minefield comes down for Guac. He will get taken out. Kel's going to get right in the face of Shinobu and take him out. Falcon fell to those minefields. Boise State running out of time here. Less than 20 seconds left, but with Goblin getting that headshot on Nico and Shinobu back in spawn, that should allow the Broncos to unlock the second point. Again, not the start they wanted, but they'll still find a way to get the first point. They also take down Capital in the process. Where is Shinobu, though? That is the question if you're any Boise State player that is not on a tank right now. Especially Plato. He has not had the best luck in that match.
Absolutely not, but I think that is less because of Plato's lack of skill and more that Shinobu is simply a God-tier hit-scan player. I cannot emphasize the skill of this man on hit-scan enough.
Boise State has not had a consistent answer to him. This time Goblin will get the headshot on him. Deep bomb from Kel will come out. It will take down Sertle, who is going for the res. Perfect bomb there from Kel, and that's going to send him back. Plato's got the pulse bomb available if he wants to drop it. It's Capital able to take down Goblin, but it cost him his life. Several ults up for Johnson Whale whenever they want to commit it. There's that pulse bomb. Robe will get taken out. You would expect Johnson Whale to throw all their ults at Boise State when they get back in spawn.
Honestly, if Boise State is able to keep holding as aggressively as they are and prevent Johnson and Wales from using all of those ultimates that they have to great effect, that is going to be a good point for Boise State's cap here. We really need to focus on Nico, though, because grab is their win condition.
Shinobu gets taken down, does get revived. The nano goes out onto Plato. He's able to punch down Shinobu for a second elimination in this fight. Kel takes down Nico. Falcon will fall as well. And despite all the ults, Johnson Wales holds on to most of them, and they are going to lose this second point as well.
They hold on to most of them, Fish, and that's exactly why they lose the point. To be perfectly honest, Boise State did not let them use a single one to great effect. Sertle definitely tried with the Valkyrie there, but ultimately their win condition was something along the lines of Nico grabbing, and Nico did not find what he deemed to be a good point for that.
Infrared sight from Shinobu comes out. Has to be a very scary push here for Boise State, pushing into not only Shinobu, but Robe on that Widowmaker Hanzo.
Yeah.
There's one for Shinobu. Minefield's going to be dropped by Guac just to put some pressure. Falcon will die to those mines, and it'll allow Boise State to continue pushing.
Whoa.
Nice pulse bomb from Plato takes down Nico, but Shinobu still that force. Another headshot onto a large bagel, but Boise State's able to get that payload down to that final stretch.
Third point Havana is much like 2.2 CP, Fish. Second point 2 CP. If you are down anybody approaching this third point on Havana, much like if you're down anybody in 2 CP, things are looking pretty bad for you.
Goblin does get that pick onto Shinobu. There's the
Huge.
body being camped by Kel. He will get taken out of the mech, but Guac will jump up there to make sure the res cannot come through. Plato does get taken out by Falcon. The payload will stop as it reaches the castle's gates. And Boise State's going to lose a pair of members, make that 3. And that's going to have to be a reset for Boise State. They're going to have to push through this open sight line once again.
This open sideline is a playground for Shinobu, and I fully expect him to show us why he's Johnson and Wales hit scan specialist just a couple more times in 1 minute and 3 seconds that Boise State has to push. But honestly, Havana third point, honestly, with where they have the cart now, that's a pretty impressive push. Even if Boise State doesn't get it any further, I wouldn't feel too bad.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams struggle with this third point. Boise State, no stranger. We'll see if they can get one as Rogue's able to eliminate Guac. We get the infrared sight from Goblin. Deep bomb will come out from Kel. Gonna get down Sertle, who stops the res. Goblin also takes down Nico. There's a nano onto Plato. Pulse bomb, unfortunately, did not find anything. Just 30 seconds left. Shinobu is gotta be the person Boise State is worried about. Goblin gets a great elimination onto Rogue. There's Transcendence from a large bagel. Meanwhile, Rally Valkyrie will come out from Sertle and Capital. There's a grab from Falcon, takes down a large bagel. Shinobu's back just in time. Time running out on Boise State. They are only 4 meters away, but Shinobu has come alive here for his team. It's another elimination onto Plato. The 2 tanks for Boise State trying to hold it down here in overtime. Kel taken out of the mech. And that should about do it. Guac spinning around. He'll get bumped. Boise State, another elimination from Shinobu. The Broncos, though, as you mentioned, they cannot complain about how close they got, though. That is going to be a tough task for Johnson and Wales.
Especially up against the likes of Shinobu. Not necessarily. Pretty good push, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
third point Havana is notoriously hard to cap in the first place. It's made even worse by an amazingly competent DPS player by the name of Shinobu that Boise State is completely struggling with, even though they completely switched their comp to be a Shinobu counter. We have Ball Diva for a reason, we have double snipers for a reason, and that reason is to send Shinobu to spawn, which we are doing with mediocre amounts of success. But man, when he is up, he is just a force of nature, a force to be reckoned with, and the force that kept Boise State from full capping third point Havana.
Now, I'll be curious to see what Shinobu wants to play. I mean, as you mentioned, on the McCree, he was good. On the Widowmaker, he's just been different, is probably the best way to put it. So I'll be curious to see if he wants to stick on that Widowmaker, because that was the most sustained success we've seen Johnson and Wales get, and it was because every third or fourth kill in the kill feed was that red arrow headshot from Shinobu onto somebody squishy for Boise State.
Somebody squishy, usually with the Zenyatta Discord or Mercy damage boost assist. Johnson and Wales is definitely aware of the huge amount of success that Shinobu is having, and they are definitely doing their best to enable him, which not only includes peel, but also includes giving him extra damage assists.
Boise State's going to go for the close hold. They do not want Shinobu to get those sight lines.
Ooh.
And swap back over to the McCree, so we'll see how that works out as Boise State holding Johnson Wales at spawn. Couple of eliminations. The large bagel is the only one taken down, but he is the fastest member of Boise State, so he should be able to get back with relative ease. Looks like they're going to try and go out on the right side now. Guac will land a great flame strike. Swinging that hammer back and forth. Him and Falcon clip each other a pair of times. Shield goes up. The flame strike. Rogue's going to be able to take down Goblin, though. And that could start to spell the end of Boise State's hold. The shield breaks, Immortality Field comes down, immediately destroyed by Nico. Rogue gets that elimination onto Guac, and Boise State's hold stalls for about 30-45 seconds, and then they will fall.
And 30-45 seconds is usually the goal that you're looking for. With a hold like this, you're usually looking to get probably about a minute off of a clock, and then you hard swap. And Asu's amplification matrix is going to be the next big key to getting them off the payload that Boise State has right now because of these amazingly long sight lines.
Nobu's on the Widowmaker, Goblin's on the Widowmaker. They'll exchange shots. Boise State will wait for the payload to push around the corner. The Broncos got to be careful of Shinobu. With that pocket, Ant Matrix will go down from Asu. Sertle's going to pop the Valkyrie as well. Plato's going to take a little bit of damage. There's the headshot onto Shinobu. Can they stop the Resurrect? They're trying to go duck hunting for that Mercy. Looks like they're going to do just enough. Deadeye will come out to guarantee there's no revive, except Turtle's able to pull it off around a corner. Nico throws down the grab. Dragon Strike comes through as well. Boise State puts all of their effort into eliminating Shinobu, but the rest of the team for Johnson and Wales comes through with the 5K.
And especially that they've been able to confirm the... Well, they can't confirm that res because it's not off cooldown yet.
I don't know if that kill will matter too much in the long run here, and Johnson and Wales over a minute and a half ahead of where Boise State was when they captured the first point. Unless the Broncos try for a late recontest, they will. Will they get there in time? Yes, they will. Shinobu's got to run back. We'll see if Boise State's able to pick him off. Shatter lands only onto Nico. He's the first elimination. Serto goes down as well with a great pick from Goblin. The Nano did land onto Robe, it looks like. Interesting strategy there from Capital. Now Shinobu will go down, and Boise State, with this late recontest, going to have to send Johnson and Wales back to their spot.
It does look like, for as dominant as Shinobu has been playing on the Widowmaker, it does look like Goblin is winning the Widow 1v1 the majority of the time. And, I mean, you could argue that that's just because Shinobu is too busy shooting the rest of the team. But Goblin's gotten some pretty good headshot kills on Shinobu, too. So this is definitely a very evenly matched Widow v Widow. Poor Sertle with those bombs.
Great Diva bomb. Yeah, they had picked off Sertle time and time again. Shinobu's going to get another headshot. That cursor on you this time, D'Angelo. You jinxed that one. As you're bragging about Goblin, he got headshot. Not only so much you can do.
There are, both of these Widows are very, very good. It is a relatively even Widow 1v1, and when they're not 1v1ing each other, Shinobu is wrecking havoc on the Boise State team.
Both of them drop the infrared sight. Final fight here for Johnson and Wales to keep their chances alive on map 3. Plato low with that dead eye. He's got to be very careful once he wants to pull it out. Shinobu gets one on the Goblin, but Plato's going to say anything you can do, I can do better. He'll pick up a pair. Cal and Guak can see their opportunity. They'll eliminate the rest of the team. It's Robe left with a miracle, and he can't even get the Dragon Strike off at Boise State. Shinobu did all he could, but the Broncos will hold here on Havana, and they'll win the series 3-0, and that perfect map score should remain intact. We'll get a final, very panicked recontest. Sertle with the Valkyrie. The wings get clipped, and Boise State gets a 3-0 win.
And this is exactly what we were hoping for there, Fish.
Yep.
It was all made possible by that amazing recontest that we did when we thought we lost the point. However, play the game, instead of going to Goblin, we'll go to Nico, which is a feat in and of itself because Goblin's been taking play of the game all night. Honestly, I'm shocked it wasn't Shinobu.
Yeah, this one was on the back of Shinobu getting all of the focus from Boise State. They've got the elimination. They were going Mercy hunting, and Nico's like, okay, you're not paying attention to anyone but Mercy. All land a great grab, but unfortunately, despite that play of the game on our final map, Boise State was just too much for Johnson and Wales to overcome. They'll pick up the 3-0 victory. They'll move to 7-0 in the NECC, and that map score moves to 21-0.
Always a good day to be a Boise State fan, but it's especially an amazing day to be a Boise State fan when you're looking at 21-0 for maps and 7-0 for overall games. Fish, how does it feel?
It feels pretty good. I mean, I think Boise State's probably not going to have a very fun VOD review with that one because I feel like at full strength, Johnson and Wales should have not made things as difficult as they did. But, I mean, a huge shout-out to Shinobu. He was absolutely fantastic. And your final thoughts here for Boise State Blues' last match of the night?
Couple hammer swings for Shinobu because that was a very valiant effort from the Johnson and Wales hit scan specialist. Amazing job. There is nothing that Shinobu should have felt bad about because that was definitely 100% effort coming out on that Widowmaker to great effect. And, you know, it almost worked for him. They were one amazing Boise State recontest away.
They were close to at least extending that game. Let's not say that they're going to 3-cap on Havana. We know how hard that is. But, yes. The only issue with Shinobu is his magical powers were only active on that Widowmaker. The McCree was kind of eh. I mean, they got absolutely blanketed by that Farah. So the Widowmaker, something Shinobu's going to probably play a lot of. But that will do it, as we said, for Boise State Blue. We still got a ton of great Overwatch action. We've got Orange potentially. We've also got maybe a mixed squad for Boise State. We'll find out, but don't go anywhere. We've got more Overwatch after this break.
legendary parts for legendary wins.
Welcome back in the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. As we said, Blue, they can take a break for the night. They're 2-0. They got to be happy with their performance. Now it's time for the Boise State Orange team to come alive. And the Hammers brought plenty of good luck for Boise State. You're going to have to swing that thing loud and proud, D'Angelo, because unfortunately for Boise State Orange, this is going to be a tough matchup. They are taking on UC Santa Cruz, who going into last week was undefeated until they ran into Boise State Blues. So you're going up against the second best team in NECC. The Orange team has their work cut out for them. But with the power of the hammer, who knows what can happen. We just saw Johnson and Whale give Boise State Blue almost everything they could handle. So it'd be a momentous upset, but it's something Boise State Orange can do if everything goes together.
If everything goes together, I mean, there are a lot of things that are possible if everything can come together for Boise State Orange. It's just a matter of whether or not they can kind of like get together. But not gonna lie, this will definitely be an uphill battle for the Orange team. And they are definitely not the favored. But it's always nice to cheer for the underdog, isn't it, Fish?
Yeah, we've seen some really great underdog plays here as of late, and Boise State now, one of the few times they'll find themselves in that underdog position. We'll see what they can do against UC Santa Cruz. Boise State Orange team hasn't had the best start in NECC, but there's still plenty of time for the Broncos to get things going and find their way into those playoffs, as it's Boise State taking on UC Santa Cruz. We mentioned we'll play all three maps, so that is something for Boise State. It's something for Boise State Blue, where we said, hey, if you've already won the series 2-0, you've got to make sure you take that third map seriously. If you're Boise State Orange, I don't want to say they're going to be 2-0'd, but that third map still means a lot, D'Angelo. So Boise State, if they kind of get run through on those first two maps, or even if they lose closely, they can maybe find one win. Even though you lose the series, that map score could in the end matter a little bit more than it might in other tournaments.
I will say that Boise State Orange is definitely, even though they're going against what seems to be an insurmountable opponent for Boise State Orange, they have not given up.
No.
And the herald and cheerleader of Boise State Orange has been Beanie Bum. He has been very adamant that Boise State Orange not give up and that everybody give it their best, and that this definitely is possible to take a map. And, I mean, by Beanie Bum's logic, if you can take a map, you can take two.
Take three?
Take three.
I don't want to go that far. I thought you were going to say their biggest cheerleader was the Hammer, honestly.
That too. The Hammer is here to cheer on Goblin and to cheer on Beanie Bum.
Yeah, I mean, if they pull off the win, I mean, maybe the Hammer has some sort of crazy power, but
I believe
it's going to take you might need like 3 Torbjorn Hammers at this point. It is not a matchup that Boise State's expected to win, but one map, as you mentioned, one map can turn into 2 maps. One game can turn into 2 games. You never know where it's going to be. It's Boise State Orange. It's UC Santa Cruz. We see the lineup here. Icy, Quidgeable, Modern Frost, Narbles, Nerdy Bird, and Pleb will start things off for the side of Boise State Orange, and we'll see something we've talked about when the Orange team has played, and maybe the biggest thing is sometimes you got to let the comfort heroes die at the spawn, the champion select screen, and you got to go with something you think can give you the best shot.
You mean Sombra?
I did not call out anyone. That is on you. You will have to answer for that, not me. I'm just simply saying, I mean, it's not even Sombra. I mean, I think there were times last semester where Boise State kind of went with the old beta full lineup, and teams kind of already did double bubble. So, gonna have to be quick. I mean, we've even talked about it just with Quidgeable with the Diva versus the Zarya. So,
Quidgeable had a 30-second highlight reel, but the rest of it was just like,
Comfort Pick's got to stay in the spaceship.
True, absolutely right. Comfort Pick's got to stay in the spaceship. Somebody put that on a shirt, on a graphic, something, because it feels like that comes up every time we cast Orange Team together, Fish.
Yeah, and we've seen glimpses of them on meta picks that maybe they're not something they're comfortable with. They played so well. So we will see here. It's Boise State Orange. It's UC Santa Cruz. It's the second place team in the NECC versus a team fighting for their playoff spots. Boise State's in the red, and we will see what they want to do. And they're going to start off quickly here with a bit of a teleport strategy. Actually, it looks like Beanie Bumps in here for Boise State Orange. A bit of a swap right as we start off the game. Boise State trying to defend as much as they can. They have lost their teleporter. Sleep's going to land on the Quidgeable. Bennett like Beckham right around the corner there. But Enigma's the first elimination for Frost. Boise State set up in a very strong position. Ionix trying to blink around and be just a general nuisance. Boise State should be able to capture the point here first. Sleep's going to land on the Quadruple once again, but a very strong start for the Orange team. Looking for one more elimination. Doesn't look like UC Santa Cruz wants to take that fight right now.
Poor EMF and Ionic, they've been on the outside of that point for 11% now, just kind of thinking about going in, but not finding the spot, and that's exactly why they haven't been able to go in. Narbles was there, very scary, got the pick onto Ionic. Beanie Bum cleaning up the kill onto EMF. Very, very nice.
Yeah, this is a hot start for Boise State Orange. This is almost kind of what we saw Johnson and Wales do to Boise State Blue. They're going to send UC Santa Cruz all the way back to spawn. Nano's going to land on the Narwhals and Pleb. They've got to be careful. Boise State's got to make sure they're a nice teleporter. They're not going to be over-aggressive like we saw Boise State Blue do a little bit in their match.
Enigma thought he could get away, but alas, Quidgible sniffed him out and got that clean little elimination, giving them an extra couple of seconds and an extra couple of percent. Things are looking pretty good for Boise State. UC Santa Cruz hasn't even touched the point, and it's at 52%, and Boise State is still at an ultimate advantage. We will need to watch out for that Bob when that Bob comes up.
Nano's going to go on to EMF. There is an Ant Matrix down from Pleb. Narbles holding onto that Deadeye for now. Gets one headshot, Iconic so low. Gets the pulse bomb off. Immortality Fields falls. Deadeye not able to find anything. The flashbang can't quite get the stun. EMF now forced to pop the Primal Rage. There's that Bob you were talking about, the D'Angelo. There's a boost off the edge from EMF. There's the sound barrier for Beanie Bum, trying to keep the team alive. They'll lose Icy as well, though. And Boise State's hot start will come to an end at 80%, but that puts them in great position if they can win one more fight.
Things are not looking good for them winning the next fight that comes up, however, unless they can eliminate Superman before he gets the grab off, because Beanie Bum was forced to use the sound barrier that was very quickly charged and charged in time for both the grab and the bomb, so good on Beanie Bum there, but he was forced to make the decision between Bob and grab, and unfortunately, grab still exists, and they needed a lost fight.
Yeah, Boise State committed a lot of ults to try and sustain on the point. They're going to photon barrier. They're going to boop off the edge onto EMF. Ionic will be taken down as well. Superman committed the grab. Boise State was able to dodge it. There's another Ant Matrix for Pleb. He's going to have him in back-to-back fights. Louis is going to drop the rally. Boise State flipped the point. Now Louis is going to be dead. Nice boop for Beanie Bum, and that's going to force UC Santa Cruz to take a staggered down one fight here in overtime. Ionic does get a pick onto Frost. Pulse Bomb only takes down the Immortality Field. EMF will fall once again. Louis got to go over to that Lucio to get back to the point in time. Quidgible now in that Baby Diva form. Narbles, though, playing the hero the team needs. Make it 3 in a row for him. Boise State only needs a couple more. Deadeye only picks up one. Narbles, have yourself a game, my man. He is absolutely popping off, and Boise State's going to win this first map unless EMF makes the hero play. He's not going to find it. Narbles, of course, gets one more. Now we're just padding the stats, and Boise State picks up that first win on the back of Narbles.
This hammer, man, Narbles is like, get in the backpack, boys. Let's go. We're winning this. I am going to carry you all to victory. And Beanie Bum is, of course, wall riding outside the backpack, getting humongous boops onto their monkey and other members of their team, but most notably and frequently their monkey. But Narbles, man, have yourself a game, Fish. That was insane. That was insane. That was a 10-second highlight reel of nothing but Narbles kills, which, you know, if it gives Boise State the map, can't complain about it.
Oh, Boise State, one more control away from at least taking a map off of UC Santa Cruz.
I believe.
A very strong start there. Both teams going to teleport up. They both are going to get there at about the same time. Sentry turret 1 taken out. Pleb and Louis both fall. Icy, though, will go down, and that probably spells the difference. Ionic's going to get a pair, and unfortunately, Boise State lost their main tank first, and that's going to be the difference maker.
Things are not looking good for Boise State, not only in this first fight, but also it is very hard to take a point from a Symmetra, especially on the Lijiang set of maps where Symmetra is very commonly run because she's very meta and very effective. Things are not necessarily looking very good for Boise State on this map here because they lost that first fight in the Sim v Sim.
There's our 3 Symmetra turrets are all in that upper left-hand corner from where Boise State is standing right now. See how they're able to deal with them. Do have Narbles and Beanie Bum now on that pharmacy comp. We'll see what they're able to do as EMF, or Superman, excuse me, will jump right in. They have to watch out for the Shatter from EMF as well. So a lot of pressure on Icy to block that one. The Shatter will go on to Frost, and he will be absolutely obliterated. Immortality Field will come out. There's a revive from Beanie Bum, so the teams are both at full strength. Now Superman will go down, but they'll lose Frost again. So it is a 1-4-1. They're trying to find a way to take down those turrets. I don't think Narble's quite solid. Pleb is taken out as well as the M-Matrix comes online. Photon Barrier from Ionic will be used. Great Maywall will come out.
I mean, honestly, this fight is looking like a Boise State loss. Is it storming again?
I know it was rainy.
I was about it. It very briefly stormed while I was on my way here.
right, here we go. Welcome back into the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Boise State just so on fire. They brought down the whole arena. And maybe Santa Cruz was just a little upset, and they didn't just want us to see how the rest of Control ended because the Broncos came away with the victory, D'Angelo. We didn't think Map 2 was going our way. You and I kind of agreed it was probably GG next after they lost the first fight. But somehow, some way, the Broncos came together. They won Control, and now we're heading on to Map 2 in Blizzard World. And the Broncos are starting off hot here for the Orange team. Not something that you and I don't want to say expected, but we at least thought there was maybe a chance for Boise State to contend with UC Santa Cruz, not take a map off of them.
I don't know what you're talking about, Fish. I walked into this with the utmost confidence in the Boise State Orange team.
Of course.
Okay, to be real, sarcasm aside, I did not expect us to win the first map. Boise State is usually a learning team, so if we were going to win a map, I expected it to be the second or the third. But I did know that Boise State Orange, at the hands of Beanie Bum, has been spending a lot of time not letting their spirits get dampened by facing this big behemoth that is Santa Cruz. And it seems like Narbles in particular really took all that positivity to heart because he was just popping off everywhere and absolutely wrecked them, at least for that first map, at least for what we were watching.
Oh, yeah.
Doing an absolutely amazing job. So, I don't know. With how well Boise State Orange is currently playing, I do think that we can do this, which is really amazing because going into this, I was thinking that we were probably going to start slow, and if we took maps, it would be the later couple maps. But no, we're just starting on fire. The hammer brought the molten core, Fish.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible play from Narbles, and I mean, it's been, I think the other thing is that Boise State's done a really good job of keeping the main take for Santa Cruz just uncomfortable. Beanie Bum kept booping EMF off the edge. You very rarely, I would say, Winston kind of is in that category of heroes you rarely should ever see environmental kills land onto. So I thought that was a great job. We're going to head on to map number 2. Does look like Boise State does have one swap. They brought in Nerdy Bird for the support position. We'll see how that works out for the Broncos. Icy's going to eat an ante to the face. Broncos will play in the high ground, but Santa Cruz back on that checkpoint. Ooh, there's a tracer right below.
EMF should be happy that Beanie Bum is no longer in the game.
Ooh, Ionic is not happy that Narbles is still in the game.
I mean, that's exactly what we expected. I don't know. Narbles was carrying first map. I don't know why you ran Tracer in. I truly, very confused.
They're going to force UC Santa Cruz off the point. EMF still going to have a bad day, this time in the hand of Pleb. Superman will go down as well. Enigma's going to eat the Quidgible right to the face. There's Ionic once again. Say, hey, how are you, and walk away. And Boise State, still starting fast here. We came back just in time for the Broncos to, start fast with a nice payload pickup.
Ionic decided there that he did not want to have his second death recorded in the first fight, and he just kind of left, facing Quidgible in the face, which I mean fair. Not necessarily honorable, but fair, Fish.
Yeah, he's like, no, I don't want my stats to go that bad right away.
Not having it. I don't want 2 deaths for one fight. I'm not here for it.
Nerdy was back on the payload. Looks like Santa Cruz jumped on top for a bit. Boise State's now going to try and rally. Caught in a very interesting spot. EMF caught on that statue. People have not had good success with that statue there today. There's the wall and maul, and EMF, despite the Primal Rage, will go down. Enigma's going to call in the Bob, however. And that's going to take down a couple members of Boise State. Nerdy gets Ionic taken down. Boise State just down 1. Quidgible retreating at 69 HP. He's going to go back to the spawn. And Boise State finds their first resistance, but they still make sure they bring down a couple of Santa Cruz members with them.
I mean, honestly, and Boise State should be able to get back before those members are able to fully set up. And, well, they're sitting at 5 ultimates going in. Boise State's biggest problem, following their big brother, is let's not use all of our ultimates at once. Well, that's a problem, too. Ionic eliminating Flip.
Narbles, he still remains hot. He'll get the kill onto Ionic. Sleep lands onto Quidgible, 26 HP. Unfortunately, going to have to use that deep bomb just to reset health. Nerdy will be taking down 1% away from the sound barrier. There's a nano that went out onto Superman. Deadeye from Narbles takes down Louis. Immortality Field comes out. The Boise State's got to retreat and wait for the team.
Well, I mean, we did lose Deadeye, and And we did lose Bomb, but you know, we're sitting on 4 other ultimates, and it was unfortunate that EMF got the pick onto our Lucio, 1% away from grab, but you know,
That
beating
was
the grab is also pretty solid.
a really good grab from Superman. The beat came out from Nerdy, but it was not enough.
Nope.
Quidgibel coming around the corner, he's like, oh, hello. How you doing, friends? I love that play from UC Santa Cruz, even though I'm a Bronco fan, and now Boise State's got to retreat once again.
Boise State, lots of pressure on Frost now because we've had a lot of, we had a lackluster Deadeye, which I'm sure you are so disappointed
We
about,
have not
Fish.
seen a good one
We
today.
had a lackluster Bomb, we had a lackluster beat on top of an amazing grab on the side of UC Santa Cruz. So now we're really looking at either Icy or Frost to get values out of their ultimate, or Pleb, of course, obviously. But it's a bit harder to get value right here on an FK.
Bob's going to join the fight. There's a pulse bomb from Ionic. A rally comes out. The Blizzard will be used, and unfortunately, the Boise State alt train not going in the right direction. Bob's going to pick up a pair of eliminations. Ice can go down as well. UC Santa Cruz get the better value from their ults, and they're winning fight after fight because of it.
Hey.
Boise State forgot how to ult effectively, and it's definitely costing us, which is really unfortunate because we've been at an ultimate advantage for the past several fights, and now they have Grav almost up again at 87, and our beat is at 32. So next fight is likely to go to UC Santa Cruz, unless we can pick the Zarya or prevent her from grabbing some other way, or she just whiffs it.
Icy has the shatter still. There's a great pick onto EMF. Starts things out with the Ant Matrix. Huge dynamite value from Enigma. Boise State barely able to heal all of that off. Icy still looking for his shatter. He is incredibly low. He's able to take down Luis. Nano is going to go out onto Enigma. And Superman goes down as the grab comes online. So Boise State's able to do what you asked, D'Angelo, at least for now.
At least for now, their Zarya will be back in time to grab and combo it with the Bob, and we will not have beat for it unless there is some Hail Mary of beats. So Icy really needs to shatter that Zarya.
We can eat it as well. Bob's going to just guns down Nerdy with some help from EMF. Narbles staying hot, gets a great kill on to Louis. Superman did get pinned, but Icy's able to unfortunately not quite pick up the kill. Narbles is taken down. The grab did come out from Superman, so overall you get Bob and grab for Boise State. Not an awful fight in terms of just dry fighting that one.
Not awful, not optimal, but not awful.
Running out of time.
Now they're in a really difficult position because we weren't able to do anything about that grab, and honestly, but Icy did hold on to his shatter, so he will be able to use shatter going into this next fight.
Oh, there's
That's
a great
good.
pick onto Ionic.
That's what we want.
EMF is going to be forced to Primal Rage just to heal back up to full. Narble's going to use the Deadeye. He'll find one. Deep Bob can't find anything for Quidgibel. Frost, though, he's come alive. There's Narbles once again. Headshot onto Enigma. Boise State should be able to capture a third point here with about 15 seconds or so on the clock. Louis taken out by Narbles. Nobody can stop this man. Icy's getting Quidgibel going to combine there. Boise State's able to pick up that second point. And the Broncos looking alive here trying to 3-cap.
Who needs beat for grab when you can just, you know, dry fight?
Yeah.
Dry fight, eliminate. That seems to be Boise State's MO this match, method of operation there. Let's just dry fight. Let's just win. Doesn't matter if we get value out of our ultimates. Let's just win.
Yeah, Icy
And
has-
it does seem to be working for them.
Icy has to shatter the whole time. There's now a Death Blossom to combo with it if they want to use it. Pulse Bomb does take out Narbles. Immortality Field comes down. Death Blossom, who needs a shatter for
There
a
it
Death
is.
Blossom? He picks up two.
Yep.
Reinhardt's run into each other. Boise State finally gets a good ult that they need. And they take down 4, and they're able to push around the corner.
First good ult goes to Frost. No one can stop this man. Absolutely amazing Death Blossom. Icy, how long have you had that shatter? It's been like 5 minutes.
Had it since the first point.
You
But I mean,
know-
if you don't need it, you don't need it, right?
If you don't need it, you don't need it. That is absolutely right. If you don't need it, you don't need it.
This would be a great time to call it in. Bob's now on. The shatter, unfortunately, will be blocked by EMF. That shatter will go to waste. Boise State still sitting on that sound barrier, though, if they want to use it. Grab comes out. Sound barrier will land, as well as an immortality field. Bob's able to take down the mech. Immortality field does fade. EMF does get stunned up, though. Great dynamite value for Enigma. As an immortality field comes down from Voices. He's able to get the first elimination along with Ionic onto Boise State's Dirty Bird, and Icy Frost will fall as well. Final fight here. Boise State's going to need something crazy. I don't think they're going to find it, so they'll get what? I don't know if they'll get anything, as we see. Quidgible's hanging out, does get spotted. He's trying to buy time. He'll Diva Bomb there just to try and distract the side of Santa Cruz. They're not able to find anything. Boise State will come rushing in, trying to find some kind of crazy elimination. Not going to be able to get it as Icy and Nerdy will go down again. Frost on the Doomfist, trying to take down Enigma. He's just padding the stats double. Boise State, 87.79 meters. Nothing to complain about here, as they'll run out of time.
Not too bad, considering that Frost was the only one on the side of Boise State to get a really good ultimate.
Yeah, you wasted.
You know, 87 meters is pretty good for only one successful ultimate. Gotta be honest, Fish.
Yeah, it was like 1 out of 8, maybe. Oh no, I will say that the nerdy grab, the nerdy sound barrier during the grab was good.
Definitely
the fight
not
didn't work
Nerdy's
out,
fault
but
that the fight didn't work
so
out.
2 good ults in
got the beat
8 tries.
just in time. Got the beat actually in the grab. Went from 99 to 100 in the grab, and it was just like, Q button.
Slam
Live,
it down.
Please.
Save the team. Yeah. Not the
So
best.
that was nice, but then they all died.
Yeah,
So.
but that again, not Nerdy's fault on that one. That's what you hey Lucio, grab the sound barrier. Yup. Okay, I did it. Rest of the team didn't come through. But yeah, I mean, 2 good ults out of 9, and you still go 2 points in 87 meters against the second place team in your group. Not too bad. You have a chance to win right here, depending on how UC Santa Cruz does. Boise State Orange got to be sitting in a very comfortable spot right now.
Imagine, if you will, for a moment, Fish.
Yes.
The situation that Boise State Orange is in, as one of the lower teams in their current bracket, going against the second team in their bracket, relying, instead of on ultimates, relying on just individual skill and individual picks and having success. Because that is what Boise State Orange is currently doing. As the significantly lower member of their current bracket, they are just having great success outskilling Santa Cruz without the use of ultimates, and you know,
it wasn't. That's not what we expected. You know, we expected okay, Boise State might have a better team play, but no, they've just been dry fight, outskilling UC Santa Cruz. We'll see if that can continue right here. Great wall. EMF barely gets around that one. Icy is going to get stunned up though. Santa Cruz pushing through. Enigma very, very low. I believe he ate an icicle right to the face. Flashbang from Narble is going to stun up too, but there's no punish for Boise State, and it looks like Santa Cruz is just going to chill. They're going to sleep on to Quidgible. They're still waiting to take a fight. Great dynamite. Enigma has been very good with those. But no fight so far from either side.
Pleb 89-91 to Amplification Matrix, and that can be what potentially wins them this fight.
Well, there it is. It's going to go down. Maywall from Frost comes out for just a little bit. EMF able to take down the Immortality Field at the cost of his own life. Flamestruck not able to find anything. Boise State health bars are incredibly low. The Broncos are sustaining. There's a nano onto Superman. He has grab already. There's that grab that's going to come out. Boise State going to lose 2 members in it. Make it 3. Not going to have the ability to respawn. Icy will pin somebody. Try and get a hammer. Not going to find it. And that grab coming online incredibly quick from Superman is the difference maker.
Pinned the wrong person in that pin there. Was going for the squishy, hit the Zarya, which is not necessarily to Icy's fault. The pin is a little bit fickle, but definitely was unfortunate. Pleb charged the ultimate first, didn't get a ton of value out of their ultimate. Superman got a ton of value out of that grab, which admittedly is an easier ultimate to get a lot of value out of because it holds everybody in place. And that...
Bob come out there from Enigma. Great Maywall and Immortality Field. Boise State's able to take down 2. Icy was eliminated. Quidgible barely hanging on. Couple of headshots there. Primal Rage used so that Narbles cannot finish off the monkey quite yet, but those red hit markers are starting to stack up. EMF is incredibly low. He is full sending for Narbles. That's tilt if I've ever seen it. And Narbles and Quidgible combined for the kill.
Imagine Primal Raging a 200 health McCree that was about... Imagine going into McCree with 1600 HP
and dying.
And losing.
That was full tilt from Santa Cruz.
It's gotta feel bad. Superman's doing an absolutely amazing job. EMF's gotta kind of come up to his other tank's level because currently he's not there, Fish.
And either main tank for either team's had a great day so far. Shatter, though, gonna land right onto Superman. Grab does come up, though. Deep Bomb will come out. Boise State's picked up 2. The shatter from Icy enables Boise State to at least stall the grab out for one more fight. They'll send Santa Cruz on a reset. Gotta be careful you don't over-aggress too much. EMF taken out again, and he has not had the best of games.
You just blessed Icy with that neither main tank is having a good time because
Caster
he's just,
blessing.
Yep, caster blessing. It works both ways. You were like, neither main tank's having a good game. Icy's like, I'm having a great game. Hammer down. I don't know what you're talking about. They don't get to grab this fight. But they still get to grab next fight. So as long as we sound barrier that correctly, things are not looking very scary for Boise State, especially because we're so close to Blizzard and they have no answer.
Nano's going to come out. Oh, that was a great Maywall from Frost. They'll commit the Blizzard and the Deadeye and the Sound Barrier. EMF going to be taken out once again. The only thing he has to show for it is an elimination onto an Immortality field. Icy swinging the hammer. Got to be careful. Throws up the shield. 4 more eliminations for Boise State. Ionic's going to be able to dash away. Maybe an overall committal, but Boise State's going to take that fight regardless. Nice headshot there.
Almost didn't need the sound barrier just because that Maywall was so clean. That was an absolutely amazing Maywall from the side of Frost. Frost and Narbles being amazingly bright points on the side of Boise State here. That was a great play, great Blizzard, great save. Almost was a great grab on the side of Superman, thwarted by a wall.
Bomb's going to take down the Immortality field. EMF will Primal Rage once again. Bob will get called in. Narvel's got to be careful. Quidgeville gets one, but Enigma's turn to shine. He's picked up a pair. Superman taken out by Quidgeville. Nice sleep odd to Frost. Both teams down a couple of members. Santa Cruz should have slight respawn advantage with the cart still very close to their respawn. Everyone's back. EMF will jump in. Boop away from Nerdy. Icy going to get take down an Enigma. That'll cool the hot hand for Santa Cruz. And Boise State doing a great job holding right at this point. They found Ionic. He's trying to dash away. He's going to be able to do it just in time to survive. Deep bomb does come out from Quidgeville. Not going to be able to find anything. Should be able to remech away from EMF, who is still just jumping in on that back line. There's a great double shatter. Deadeye's going to be able to pick up Superman. Nerdy will go down with the 1-for-1 trade. Boise State will bait out the Immortality field, but Nerdy's closer to the sound barrier than Superman is to the grab, so the Broncos overall will take that trade.
Icy has definitely been performing much better after your casting blessing fish. Thank you so much for that. You have raised his shatters to a whole new level.
0 for 3 before, 2 for 2 now. He does get hit by an ante. Does get punched down by an Enigma, though, but we see time is already ticking down for Santa Cruz. Even if Boise State loses this fight, there's still plenty of time. Nerdy did commit the sound barrier.
Oh,
so
no.
Now,
What?
I saw the it go off. I didn't see any shields, so now Superman's going to have a grab with no sound barrier.
A grab with no sound barrier, and now they won this fight. That may have just handed them this point, Fish. That misuse sound.
Yeah, I didn't
with
even
the holding
see.
up the
I didn't see
grab.
any member get the shield. This is
That-
the weirdest part.
If Superman grabs halfway well, that misuse of Lucio Ultimate just handed them this point. A point that they were previously not going to get, Fish.
They have to win one fight. Boise State could probably take a fight here, maybe dry fight it out and then recontest. There's the grab and the bob. Great Immortality field from Plebs, going to keep the team alive. And Matrix goes down and Boise State survives the grab. Primal Rage comes out from EMF. Ooh, he's going to be able to take down Narbles. Icy thought he had a pin onto Superman. Not able to find it, incredibly low. Oh, the rest of Boise State's going to be taken down despite the grab not finding the success. Boise State will lose everyone else, and that should allow Santa Cruz here to capture second point and give themselves some time to potentially tie this map up or win it.
Which I guess is good that the grab didn't eliminate everybody. I mean, on paper, that was a 5-man grab.
Yeah.
On paper, that was an amazing grab, except there was nobody there.
Kill the Immortality.
No, there was nobody there to kill anything
That's true.
other than Superman himself.
Well,
Which theoretically, you'd think Superman would be enough, but no, not on Zarya with low charge.
Boise State's probably got to win a pair of fights. Enigma's going to
Oh!
take one to the dome. Narbles follows it up. Displaying who is the better cowboy. There's another one for Narbles. He is popping off now. Superman might get one more grab. Nerdy should have the sound barrier up before that happens, though.
And as long as we sound barrier the grab, or Superman whips the grab like they did last time without anybody to back it up. I mean, honestly, either way works. Either way ends up with Boise State not dying to the grab, which is the goal.
There's a rally and a nano. EMF's going to be able to get one. Narbles gets one back. Frost does drop down the Blizzard, and Ant Matrix goes down as well. Immortality Field will be used. Bob gets called in. The grab's going to be up about 2% before. Nice shatter, though, from Icy. Sound Barrier gets called in before the grab, unfortunately. Deadeye comes out. Got to find something here. Oh, gets it onto Superman as the grab comes out. Boise State's going to lose their members, though, but they should be able to come alive for a Spreakin' test. Maybe.
They get to touch as long as Frost does not die. Oh, there he is. Frost is dead.
Oh, Narbles will dash in. Gets knocked off the point. Should be able to contest. Has got to dash back in one more time, holding it just 2.3 meters away. Quintupple's back alive. Immortality Field does come down. Nerdy's taken out. Icy will fall as well. And unfortunately for Boise State, UC Santa Cruz is going to pick this one up, and we're going to go to a map 3 to determine our winner.
Barely picking it up, though, Fish.
Barely.
That is a very important key there. Barely picking it up there, Fish. Things are looking pretty. Things are not looking bad for Boise State Orange. I would say things are looking pretty good. We really need to sound barrier the grabs, though. It is very concerning. Because the problem is not necessarily that the beat is not charged for the grab, which is a bad problem to have.
Yeah.
Definitely a very bad problem to have.
Yeah, that wasn't the issue this time. The issue was the
But it's almost worse.
timing.
When you have it charged, but are not able to deny grab or other large instances of damage. Because as we've seen from Superman, we've seen some grabs not get the value that they need to get because people aren't, you know, there to follow up on it.
Yep.
But we haven't really, we've seen a couple sound barriers used to great effect, but we've also seen some sound barriers not go off at all or just be to save Lucio. And that's not usually what you want. There are a variety of problems that you can have with a sound barrier, and while it's good we don't have the problem of not being able to charge the sound barrier, not using the sound barrier to negate large amounts of damage is still kind of an issue, but I don't think that's necessarily the only issue that Boise State is having, because I don't necessarily think it's the grab that's killing them, it's those other large instances of damage.
Yeah.
That either, I mean, you could run away with speed, or you could just get the eliminations beforehand so that the members aren't there to put out large amounts of damage. But the easiest solution would just be to sound barrier it, which is why I keep harping that.
Yeah, it felt like that last sound barrier was almost like a prediction. Like, oh, I think the grab's coming, let's sound barrier, and unfortunately, I see it shattered. Perfect shatter.
Which was amazing, by the way.
And so it delayed the grab. The shields had all faded, and I mean, Boise State had already lost a couple members. But yeah, if Boise State can line up those grab timings with the sound barrier, I think they'll be in a good spot. But it's map 3. We're on to Havana. Boise State Orange has fought valiantly and made UC Santa Cruz work for it. We'll see if the Broncos can pull off the upset here.
I believe they are definitely in a position where, with a couple of fixes, they can definitely win this. They won map 1.
Gotta watch out. We'll see if Ionic can do his best impersonation of Widowmakers we've seen earlier today on this map. We do see an interesting swap for Santa Cruz. They're gonna put Superman in the DPS role. They're gonna put Enigma on the tank role.
What is it with swapping tanks, offense, and DPS tonight?
And I mean, I thought Superman was the best tank and Enigma was the best DPS for Santa Cruz. As Narbles gets a headshot onto Superman. He will get revived though. EMF taken out. He has not had much luck today. Immortality Field does come down for Pleb. Boise State has already burned quite a bit of time off. Superman gunned down, and you have to wonder what that swap was about for Santa Cruz.
Honestly, I don't care. I'm not complaining about it. Good job. It looks like it's working well for Boise State Orange. And honestly, the Havana close hold is what Boise State Orange is somewhat famous for. It is what they're best at. It is something that they've been legendary at, even when it's off meta. Now that it's meta, you gotta expect that they're gonna do it well.
Great Maywall there. Enigma's gonna get caught out. He will be taken down. EMF will be also gunned down. Already a minute and a half burned out. Ionic will fall, and Boise State, as you mentioned, the close hold on Havana, so the Orange team does very well. One of the few things I'll say, stick to it even if it's not meta.
Stick to it even if it's not meta, because it works for them. They don't spend entire maps where it's not working. They spend maps where it happens to great effect.
The Valkyrie is committed there by Luis. Maywall is going to trap Superman on the wrong side. He's forced to cryo freeze. Nano will go on to EMF. Huge shatter does land. Enigma gets stunned up. Narvel's taken out. EMF gets pinned in the back of the wall. A couple hammers to the face. And they'll actually, Icy and EMF will both fall at the same time. Superman has been taken out as well as Louis. There's a Diva Bomb coming out from Quidgible. Boise State's already burned off half the clock.
Icy was the price, but you know, that was a one fight. Now we hopefully will see him maybe get taxied back into the fight. No, it doesn't look like it. Looks like he's sticking to the cart. But Icy really needs to be back because they have Shatter.
He comes zooming in. Boise State does lose a
Might
pair.
be a little late, though.
Yeah, they burned 2.5 minutes with the close hold, so they cannot complain.
Cannot complain at all. We're also going to have a couple members back here with that Lucio speed in time for another full contest. But we're going in at a massive ultimate disadvantage, so we need to prioritize targets, and we really need to eliminate Superman, and we really need to eliminate Enigma. Otherwise, this point is Santa Cruz.
Here's the grab that's going to come out. Nerdy will drop the sound barrier perfectly. We're going to see a blizzard as well. Boise State will get frozen up, and unfortunately, those pair of ultimates too much for the shield to hold. Boise State will get one onto Superman. They've only lost two, though, trying to stay in the fight. Quidgible gets one more onto Louise. Santa Cruz maybe not ready for that recontest for Boise State. And
We're not out of this yet.
One more chance at a recontest.
We have one more chance with Window and Noon. And while Noon is not necessarily a dominant ultimate by itself, with amplification, Matrix becomes much more scary.
Ionic's going to call his Deadeye in first. Narbles will answer. Sun is at 12 o'clock all over the place, and neither of them choose to fire a bullet. Ionic just takes down the Immortality Field. Nano was used. Voices gets picked. Quidgible very low, forced out of the mech. Huge flashbang there. Unfortunately, couldn't quite finish him off onto Louis. Boise State, though, is able to get one more. Both teams down a pair of members here with just 20 seconds left. Boise State not going to have the respawns, though, that they need. Enigma's now going to drop another grab. Unfortunately, he built that incredibly fast, and that's going to allow Santa Cruz to be able to pick up this first point.
That shatter onto our Blizzard was definitely not what we were looking for there, Fish. That definitely, good job, Santa Cruz. That got you this point. That very well-placed shatter onto the Blizzard. Good job.
Enigma doing a really good, both Zarya's for the side of Santa Cruz have done a really good job of charging their grabs.
Very true.
EMS got that shatter now. Boise State looking for the recontest. Shatter will come down, lands onto all four members. Can Boise State find a way to survive? Does not look like it.
But we're finding a way to eliminate, which is almost the same thing Narble says.
Yeah,
almost as useful. Narble's getting the backpack. Let's go.
EMF just finally makes a good play, and somehow Boise State wins the fight. You got to feel for it, even if you're a Boise State fan.
I don't know what you're talking about. I feel nothing but being impressed with Narbles. That is all I feel right now, Fish.
Well, we'll see if Narbles can keep this up. Still a minute and a half left. Deadeye on both sides, Diva Bomb on both sides, and a sound barrier on both sides. So everything's pretty even. Boise State should be a little bit closer to the shatter as Santa Cruz will walk up to the high ground. There's a Deadeye from Ionic. Boise State will simply line of sight that. What a fantastic ultimate that is.
I executed the salt.
Didn't get any kills. We'll see if Narbles can make me eat my words. He's been on fire today. Icy and EMF will run into each other. Nice freeze onto EMF. Shield will go up. Immortality Field will go down. And Louise will commit the ultimate, but Boise State's going to lose both of their healers as Pleb and Dirty Bird get taken out. Narbles gets two back with the Deadeye. Ionic takes down Icy. Narbles says anything you can do, I can do better. Diva Bomb committed by Quidgible just to reset the mech, but he takes down Superman in the process. Ionic does win the battle of the McCrees, lands a great stun, but Quidgible back in that mech at full life, and Narbles does enough for Quidgible to wrap things up.
Now, Fish, let's keep it honest here. Ionic won the battle of the McCrees, but Narbles won the battle of the teams.
That is true.
So Ionic won the battle of the McCree after Narbles eliminated literally everybody else on his team. So I'm hitting you with lots of philosophical questions. Is it really a win at that point?
Okay, he won in the kill feed. Boise State's unfortunately going to lose Nerdy with the grab up.
That's bad.
They'll
That's
lose
horrible.
get Moises as well. Frost will go down, but Superman goes down. They're continuing to trade, but they've taken down the carry with Narbles punched down by Louis. Icy commits the shatter. Can't find anything. Ionic will use the Deadeye. Icy and Quidgible's both going to fall, and unfortunately for Boise State, for some reason when that clock has hit 0, they have absolutely fallen apart.
falling apart. There is no other way to describe it. Looks like Boise State is going to do an aggro beat here probably to try to contest and eliminate everything before the shields run out is probably their best bet.
Here we go. There's Icy to contest. Still waiting for the sound barrier. Blizzard and Shatter will come down. There's the sound barrier, but it's not time to save Frost. He will be taken out. Quidgible will fall out of the mech as those shields get eaten through in short order.
What?
And time will run out.
Huge.
Santa Cruz just walked off the
C9.
point.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
We didn't even get to see it.
It looked like because Frost was down and the barrier was over, it honestly looked like that was a Santa Cruz fight. So
That's
good. I'm not going to
That
complain
is
about them getting
wild.
off the point. That was good. Stopped us from going to third point.
I would
Here
have
it is.
loved to have seen what scared them so much.
That's a good question, Fish, because it must have been truly terrifying. Because that second point was as good as theirs.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we may get a replay. Looks like we saw a bit of it, but unfortunately we were in the Narble's perspective, which 99% of the time is the right perspective to be, but that time he was rolling away to reload, so we missed it. And then the round just ended, so a huge mistake by Santa Cruz, and that puts Boise State in a position to win. Boise State held Santa Cruz for 2.5 minutes. We'll see if Santa Cruz, if they go for the close hold, could do the same thing, because that could be the difference between who wins this match.
I sincerely hope they will not be able to do the same thing, just because I am a Boise State fan, and I would like it if Boise State Orange commits this massive upset and beats one of the highest teams in their bracket as one of the lower teams. I'm here for that. I'm here for the underdogs, Fish.
Yeah, Boise State came so close to guaranteeing their win on the second map. Had UC Santa Cruz in overtime a couple of times. There's the close hold that will come out. Superman's going to cryo freeze just in time to dodge the pin. But EMF will go down, so will Superman. Immortality Field was used. Frost will fall. But Boise State appears to have broken the Santa Cruz close hold right away. Moises incredibly low. One more damage should do it. Pleb's going to be able to pick that one up. Can they find it on to Louis or anyone else? No. Narbles will be taken out by Ionic, but Boise State going to be able to pick up a pair there, and they've broken that close hold in 30 seconds versus 2.5 minutes. That's a huge advantage for Boise State.
Huge advantage. Now they're pushing up, and not only are they at a time advantage, they're a massive ult advantage. And since UC Santa Cruz doesn't have a grab, they don't have a big win condition ult other than the Blizzard. And Lucio, as I mentioned earlier on the King's Row, should easily be able to speed a team out of Blizzard without even committing the beat. So what Boise State is looking for here is either amplification matrix value, or since it doesn't look like we're going to get that, Icy with shatter value.
Ionic's going to use the Deadeye. Oh, perfect Maywall there. Frost is going to stop that. Ionic's not going to find anything. Enigma will get frozen, but there's no punish there. Icy now has the shatter. He'll throw it down. He'll land it just onto Louis. Ant Matrix comes down from Moises. Those Boise State's got to be careful. They'll trade 1-for-1. Superman for Pleb. Diva Bomb's going to go in from the back line for Quidgible. He's able to take down Ionic, but he does die himself. Both teams have incredibly low members. Enigma forced out of the mech. He'll use the self-destruct to try and reset. Frost has the Blizzard. Louis does commit the sound barrier, though, to nothing. And Boise State will lose this fight, but they get the sound barrier out of the way.
Which is good, because now we have Blizzard, and so if we're able to pick Louis or wall them off so that they can't speed out of the Blizzard, that should be our win condition, because UC Santa Cruz is still a good 12% away. So we really need to move fast, but lots of pressure on Frost to get this for us here.
Comes Boise State right around the corner. They got the Deadeye to combo with the Blizzard as well, but as you mentioned, Superman's getting closer and closer, so the Broncos have got to commit.
Oh, bad.
Superman now has it. We're going to battle of the maze. Deadeye's going to come out. There's the Blizzard. Quidgible eats Superman's, though, so that's not even a Blizzard at all. Boise State's going to get EMF very low. He lands a two-man shatter. That'll force out the sound barrier for Boise State, but they've already picked up 3 from the side of Santa Cruz. Ant Matrix goes down. Nice concussive grenade's going to land onto Ionic, and Boise State's going to be able to wrap up this first point and give themselves about 3.5, 4 minutes to try and win this match.
Sound barrier feels unnecessary on the side of Boise State, but you know, a one fight's a one fight, and they don't have grab or anything to try to punish that with, because both Blizzard and Shatter were used that fight, so there's not really anything else that they can punish them with other than just tons of damage.
Yeah, it felt like that sound barrier was the response to the two-man shatter. Ionic's going to throw up the Deadeye. Looks like Boise State has walled it off. Immortality Field does come down. Boise State incredibly low. Quidgible going to be taken out of the mech and then immediately taken out. There is another great Maywall, but it's not going to last for very long. Boise State's going to lose Nerdy and Pleb, and that will be a reset despite the Ant Matrix for the Broncos.
Things are not looking very good for the Boise State here because once that door closes behind the payload, there are only 3 points of entry, 4 points of entry onto this point total, which makes things very, very hard to push without big win condition ults, which Blizzard is, and we're close to it, but so are they.
Well, they're going to Ant Matrix from Moises. Boise State's going to wait this one out. Ionic's going to get a great headshot onto Narbles, unfortunately. Immortality Field will be committed there by Boise State, and another Maywall will be used. EMS going to be able to take down Frost. Icy will drop a two-man shatter. Quidgible's going to throw in the Diva Bomb. It's going to be able to pick up 2 on the back line. Enigma will throw out his own Diva Bomb. It's not going to find anything, and Boise State's in this with both teams only down 2 members each.
That's big.
Broncos able to trade off EMF there, and now with EMF and Icy down, neither team has a main tank.
Really need
Pleb will be
Ionic.
taken out. Ionic has been absolutely popping off. He's been inspired by the play of Narbles, but the Boise State team going to be able to continue to shove this payload, and they're sitting on 2 minutes.
UC Santa Cruz and Boise State both have a lot of really important ultimates up right now. A lot of pressure on Luis to use that sound barrier correctly, and a lot of pressure on Boise State to ult before Santa Cruz does. Or just do that, cancel the May Blizzard.
Yeah, great flashbang there, cancels the May Blizzard. Unfortunately, Narbles is still taken out. Boise State will now throw down their own May Blizzard. Luis is going to drop the sound barrier, but not before EMF falls. Pleb's Immortality Field is taken out. He Ant Matrix as well, and now him and Icy will both be taken out. Boise State's now going to lose all of their members, but they got every ult out from the side of Santa Cruz except for one.
And now Boise State is in the position of having feet for their shatter. So, I mean, we should be able to mitigate that EMF shatter. If we don't, there are a couple of problems on the side of Boise State. And Icy, a lot of pressure on Icy to get value out of his own shatter if they want to win this next fight. Or they could just build up 6 ultimates because they really have 1 minute and 9 seconds to win a single fight. So that also is an option.
Yeah, Matrix will go down from Moises. Boise State will just fight through it. Nice stun, and Luis is going to be taken out. 3-man shatter came down from Icy. Boise State's able to pick up 2 more. This could be it. Gonna need a rally here from Santa Cruz if they want to stay in this game. Pleb's going to take down Superman. They didn't even need the sound barrier for Boise State. Holding it for a late recontest to the payload with all 5 members. Going to go as fast as physically possible. Can they stop the recontest? There's the sound barrier that comes down. Boise's taking it out. Going to swap over to the Moira. EMF will fall. Boise State just has to wrap this up. Nice Diva Bomb from Quidgible. Takes down Ionic, who is rushing in. And now Santa Cruz is going to be going in one at a time. Enigma taken out of the mech, should be falling in short order. Moises will go down. Enigma and Superman are the next targets. They will both fall as the blizzard comes up. Boise State just 1.94 meters away, and it's trending in that direction. Only got to take care of, looks like Ionic and Luis here. They'll do that. And Boise State will pull off the upset.
There's the upset. It's the Hammerfish. It's the Hammer.
Boise State, absolutely phenomenal. They get the upset over UC Santa Cruz. Just what they needed, a 2-1 win. And Boise State Orange maybe now on that right track as the regular season at NEC is winding down.
It's the Hammerfish.
Yeah.
Hammer pulls off massive upsets. I cannot emphasize enough how impressive Boise State Orange just played.
Yep.
Because this was a team that many of them did not think that they were going to stand a chance against, to be honest. Before going into this, they really needed to have Beanie Bum cheering them, make sure that like everybody was going to play their best here. They really, even the team themselves, didn't think that they were going to go in and win this. But, you know, I mean, we did.
Yeah, absolutely incredible performance. Speaking of incredible, you're not going to want to miss the 3v3 Overwatch Showdown presented by the Idaho Army National Guard. It'll be broadcast live from the BSU Esports Arena. Perfect opportunity to win some prizes, shatter your friends, and ask the Army National Guard how they can help you get an education in gaming and interactive media. Finals held live on Saturday, April 16th. Absolutely incredible performance. I mean, I think you're right. Beanie Bum set the tone for what we saw on Control, we did have a bit of a power outage here, so we didn't see how the Broncos
true.
won Control. But Beanie Bum set the tone. The rest of Boise State followed suit there, and they're able to pick up the win. And not to mention, they were oh so close on Blizzard Worlds, potentially 3-0ing Santa Cruz.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So not only did they beat somebody that was massively outranking them and massively favored in not only the coach polls but also the bracket itself, they had the opportunity to 3-0 them. And it was a couple of misused ultimates, I mean, like we were talking about, Fish, that made the difference in them not being able to 3-0 this team that very few people thought that they were going to be able to win against. And like I said, again, I thought if we were going to win, it was going to be the later maps, not the first one. But no, Boise State Orange came out really strong and did absolutely amazing. And you know what? I'd like to give most of the credit to the Hammer, but honestly, I feel like that just takes away some from Boise State Orange, and I'm very proud of them, so I would hate to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Boise State Orange played phenomenal. I mean, as you mentioned, they did not get too worried. I mean, you said it felt like the team maybe didn't think they could win. They did not show that. They pull off the 2-1 upset over UC Santa Cruz. We'll give the credit to the Hammer.
Yes.
And
Hammer
Narbles.
time.
Hammer and Narbles
Hammer
were
and Narbles,
the
very
two
important.
big factors.
Because the Hammer is the Hammer works for DPS players.
Yep, that's just the true fact.
True facts. True facts with D'Angelo and Fish.
Yes.
The Hammer buffs the DPS players. So clearly that is exactly what we need whenever we're planning a significant upset, like the one that happened tonight. Fish.
Yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Narbles made some insane plays. So did the rest of the team. I thought Icy did a good job responding there after a very sluggish start. I think I do think one of the things is that EMF just got tilted off the face of the earth. He was flying in. He was all over the place. We solo primal raged a McCree and still died.
Yep.
They did a really good job of tilting the main tank for UC Santa Cruz, and when you don't have a main tank, it's hard to win.
When you don't have a main tank, you don't have a team. And just as EMF continued to play worse throughout the duration because he got more tilted, Icy, in reverse, rose to the challenge and played much better. Like you mentioned, Fish, Icy did have a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah.
But the second you mentioned it on cast, Icy became #blessed, and suddenly it was landing all of the shatters in the world. And it was just great to watch. So thank you for that, Fish. That's a small part of our gigantic upset.
Usually I get blamed for the caster curse. I'll take the caster's blessing here and there. That is definitely nice to see. See what else we have up for this. Might have a top 5 plays as well. Anything stand out to you if we do have a top 5 on that you want to make a shout out to?
Oh, I mean, you mean other than the fact that 4 out of the 5 are probably going to be Narbles? Is that what you mean by?
I mean, yeah.
Or
do you have a play that you might want to see at number 1?
Uh,
Really, the world's open to you
honestly, the first on Lijiang, the first time where Narbles killed their entire team, the first of many. I do think that should make it into the top 5 plays reel because that was I mean, firsts are always very important, right, Fish?
Yes.
So the first almost solo team kill that Narbles gets, it wasn't completely solo because his team was there doing some damage, but also Beanie Bum got the environmental onto the monkey of all people.
Yeah, Beanie Bum had quite a few environmental kills in the game we saw. I would have loved to have seen either on Lijiang or not, but we will have our top 5 plays. They're brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invite you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus. Want more information? Reach out to iGuard Gaming, and here's the top 5 plays. Boise State's Orange upset 2-1 victory over UC Santa Cruz.
Nice.
This is a hot start for Boise State Orange. This is almost kind of what we saw Johnson and Wales do to Boise State Blue. They're going to send UC Santa Cruz all the way back to spawn. Dano's going to land on the Narbles and Pleb. They've got to be careful. Boise State's got to make sure they're a nice teleporter. They're not going to be over-aggressive like we saw Boise State Blue do a little bit in there. Best tank, and Nico was the best DPS for Santa Cruz. Narbles with the headshot onto Superman. He will get revived, though. EMF taken out. He has not had much luck today. Immortality Field does come down for Pleb. Boise State has already burned quite a bit of time off the guns down, and you have to wonder what that swap was about for Santa Cruz. Shatter now. State looking for the recontest. Shatter will come down, lands onto all 4 members. Can Boise State find a way to survive? Does not look like it.
but we're finding a way to eliminate, which is
That's true.
almost the same thing Narble says.
Yeah,
Almost as useful. Narble's in backpack. Let's go. What are they working for them?
he hasn't chatted the whole time. There's now a Death Blossom to combo with it if they want to use it. Pulse Bomb does take out Narbles. Immortality Field comes down. Death Blossom, who needs a shatter for a
There
Death
it
Blossom? He
is.
picks up two. Reinhardt's run into each other. Boise State finally gets a good ult that they need. They take down 4 and they're able to push around the corner. Over to that Lucio to get back to the point in time. Quidgible now in that baby diva form. Narbles though playing the hero the team needs. Make it 3 in a row for him. Boise State only needs a couple more. Deadeye only picks up 1. Narbles, have yourself a game, my man. He is absolutely popping off. And Boise State's going to win this first match unless EMF makes the hero play.